the journey naturally progressed towards something deeply rooted in responsibility, the birth of our Prakrit Foundation. Because true healthcare is not only about treatment, but about the health of our environment, our communities, and our future generations. Today, DBCL's impact extends beyond reports and results. It lives in sustainable healthcare practices, community well being, environmental responsibility, and initiatives that improve the lives at the grassroots levels. This is not just the story of an institution, it's the story of a commitment to heal, to educate, and to serve the society in most holistic way possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, over the next few hours, I'll make you travel through a journey from the past that built us to the present that inspires us and into the future that promises healthier, longer, and more sustainable lives. Because today, healthcare is not only about curing the disease, it's about increasing the health span, about predictive, preventive, and personalized care, and about longevity medicine, and about making the healthcare systems more sustainable for the generations to come. So, to begin this auspicious evening, may I invite our esteemed dignitaries and the respected directors of DVCL to light the ceremonial lamp, symbolizing knowledge, hope, and the eternal light of healing that guides the world of healthcare. As the lamp glows brighter and as the invocation fills the air with the positivity, so does our shared commitment grow stronger. A commitment to serve humanity through healthcare, knowledge, and compassion. May I invite the dignitaries and directors of Dr. Bilal Clinical Group?
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु
Thank you so much. Moving ahead, as we proceed, we also have a beautiful cultural offering prepared by our own very talented students from the Dr. Bilal Institute of Biotechnology, a special Ganesh Vandana performance. Lord Ganesha is revered as the remover of obstacles and the harbinger of the wisdom and new beginnings. As we celebrate 35 years of service and step into a future of innovation and longevity in healthcare, Seeking blessings through this sacred invocation reminds us that every scientific journey is also guided by humility, purpose, and grace. May I now invite the performers Vidhi Jain and Khushi Sharma here. Music.
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि.
Thank you. So, before we move ahead, let us pause for a moment and witness the remarkable journey of DBCL. 35 years of trust, science, and service, and an unwavering commitment to humanity. A journey that began with a vision, grew with dedication, and flourished through the faith of the people it served. A journey shaped by values, strengthened by challenges, and carries forward by the hands and hearts of countless individuals. So, may I request the video team to play the brand AV, please? As we watch these moments unfold, we are reminded that an institution is not built by walls, machines, or milestones alone. It is built by belief, by integrity, and by the quiet determination to serve every single day. Tonight, we celebrate not just the growth of DBCL, we celebrate the spirit that made it possible. So, to formally welcome you and set the tone for this landmark celebration, it's my privilege to invite a leader whose visionary and strategic leadership has been instrumental in shaping the organization's growth, shaping this journey with purpose and people at its heart. As the director of Dr. Bilal Clinical Laboratory, she, had, she has played a pivotal role in driving strategic directions, strengthening ethical and patient centric diagnostics, and fostering innovation while staying deeply rooted in the organization's core value. Her leadership reflects a clear and thoughtful vision, one that balances legacy with progress and science with humanity. Please join me in welcoming Miss Sakshi Khandelwal, who will deliver the welcome address and open this special evening as we celebrate the journey so far and look ahead to the future of healthcare. A warm round of applause, please.
Thank you, Nikunj. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, all the respected guests, the esteemed doctors, friends, family, the entire team of DBCL. A very warm welcome to each of you. Standing here this evening is deeply emotional for me because today is not just a celebration, it is a moment of reflection on a 35-year journey built on faith, resilience, and responsibility. A journey guided by values that are simple in words yet profound in action: truth, trust, and care. 35 years ago, a vision took shape, not just to establish a diagnostic laboratory, but to build an institution that people could rely on during some of the most critical moments of their life. From day one, our purpose had remained clear: to serve the best and to serve all, ensuring that excellence in diagnostics is never limited by access and care is never influenced by any circumstance. Over the years, Dr. Bilal Clinical Laboratory has expanded in scale and impact. But what truly defines our journey is that we've consciously tried to shape it with purpose and people at its heart. Every milestone achieved carries behind it countless human stories: patients seeking clarity, families waiting with hope, and doctors trusting us to support critical clinical decisions. This journey stands firmly on the visionary foundation laid by Dr. Bilal Gupta, whose commitment to ethical healthcare continues to guide and inspire us. Thank you so much, sir. His belief that integrity must never be compromised, even as we grow, remains deeply embedded in our culture till now. As we speak, as leaders, we speak of vision and strategy. And strategic thinking has helped us evolve. But what has sustained us for 35 years is trust. The trust of the patients, the medical fraternity, and communities who believed in our promise to serve with honesty and compassion. As healthcare evolved, we believe the future belongs to education, knowledge, innovation, and preparedness. This belief inspired the creation of Dr. Bilal Institute of Biotechnology in 2008, a commitment to education-driven excellence that nurtures scientific talent, fosters innovation, and prepares the next generation of healthcare professionals to lead with purpose. Equally important to us is the responsibility that we carry beyond diagnostic and education. Through Prakrit, which is very close to our hearts, we express our deeper commitment to sustainability, social responsibility, and giving back to the planet that sustains us. Healthcare today is advancing rapidly. Technology is evolving, diagnostics is becoming more precise, and expectations are rising. Yet, amidst all of this progress, one principle remains non negotiable: our humanity. Because diagnostics is not just about data and reports, it's about people, emotions, and responsibility. Today's Healthcare Excellence Conclave reflects our commitment to this future. At a time of profound transformation marked by technological advancement, preventive and personalized care, and a growing focus on sustainability, this platform brings together experience, innovation, and leadership to engage in meaningful dialogue and collaboration. The conversations we will have today around sustainability, longevity, and predictive and personalized medicine reflect not only where healthcare is headed, but also the shared responsibility we carry in shaping a more ethical and equitable healthcare ecosystem. Thank you to our doctors and partners for walking us in this journey with us. Thank you to all our team members, and above all, to all the patients for placing their trust in us. As we celebrate 35 years today, we do so with humility and renewed purpose, reaffirming our promise to serve the best and serve all, to remain truthful in our science, worthy of trust in our actions, and caring in every human interaction. Thank you, everyone, for being part of our story, and thank you so much for celebrating this milestone with us. I welcome everyone once again, and I wish you a truly memorable evening ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your words remind us why this journey matters us. And now we step into Healthcare Excellence Conclave, the intellectual heart of today's celebration. As we move as we move forward in the celebration of legacy and progress, we now step into a conversation that defines the future of healthcare itself. For decades, healthcare has focused on care, treating illness, saving lives, and advancing medical science. But today, the world demands something more. It asks healthcare institutions to move from care to commitment. Commitment to reduce environmental impact, commitment to responsible resource use, commitment to building systems that protect not just patients but the planet that sustains them, because a healthy society cannot exist on an unhealthy planet. Hospitals consume energy, generate waste, and use water at a significant scale. The future of healthcare lies in reimagining systems that are healing for people and sustainable for the earth. Sustainable healthcare is no longer a choice, it's a responsibility, a necessity, and a moral obligation. To guide us through this important and future focused discussion, we have someone who, whose work beautifully bridges science, sustainability, and societal impact. Dr. Sudipti Arora is an environmental research scientist, sustainability expert, and ESG advisor with over a decade of experience in water, waste, and environmental systems. A PhD from IIT Roorkee, she has worked extensively on sustainable healthcare models, zero waste initiatives, and environmental solutions that integrate science with the real world impact. Her work spans research, policy, industry advisory, and grassroots transformation, always guided by one belief that development must be responsible and healthcare must be sustainable. She represents a new generation of leaders who understand the future of medicine lies not only in innovation but in sustainability and systems thinking. May I now invite Dr. Sudipti Arora to kindly take the stage as the moderator for this panel discussion and lead us into this crucial conversation on the future of sustainable healthcare.
A very, very warm good evening to all of you. How are you all today? Who is saying fine? We don't talk to people who are fine. We talk to people who are happy. So how are you all today? And when we are happy, what we do? We clap our hands. And when we clap our hands, we activate our muscles which are in the hand so that our mind gets activated, because what we are going to hear now are some powerful conversations, and for that we need mind activation. और इससे दो फायदे होते हैं, जब हम clapping करते हैं तो जो stage पे बैठा होता है उसे भी बहुत अच्छा लगता है, तो अपना भी फायदा होता है और उनका भी. So let's all give a huge round of applause to us, to all of us, for joining us for this beautiful celebration on 35th anniversary. This is indeed a beautiful milestone for our group, and we are truly, truly blessed to see all the smiling faces here in the audience. And this segment, the Healthcare Excellence Conclave, is something which is truly special for us because, we thought of doing this for the first time, bringing together a different kind of people with their own expertise and experiences on something which is very, very important. So both the panels, we have thought of to bring something really interesting and informative to all of you. So thank you so much for joining us. It's truly a privilege to stand here among clinicians, policymakers, healthcare leaders, sustainability professionals, and change makers. We always think that healthcare is something that happens inside hospital units, hospital walls, in operating room, clinics, and lab. But we recognize this as a larger truth today. So far, even Nikunj and Sakshi has also spoken that how sustainability is indeed very important. We all know that, but when I go to that industrial side, I go to some hospital owners, some clinicians, I also hear those different boardroom stories. As simple as whatever you are proposing is absolutely right, but what is the ROI? When will we get the results? The short-term impact over long-term. So these are some of the discussions that we are going to deep dive today, and I'm sure you all will have so much fun listening to them and also so much information. So now, without further delay, I'm really privileged to invite all the distinguished panelists that have joined us today for this first panel, which is From Care to Commitment, the Future of Sustainable Healthcare. Let us see where it takes us. So it's my complete honor and privilege to invite our distinguished panelist, Dr. Rajiv Gupta sir, with us today. Dr. Rajiv Gupta is a globally respected leader in preventive cardiology and cardiovascular epidemiology. He served as the chair of Preventive Cardiology and Medicine at EHCC, Eternal Heart Care Center and Research Institute, Jaipur, affiliated with Mount Sinai, New York. He is a pioneer in preventive cardiology with a remarkable contribution to global cardiovascular research. Dr. Gupta has served as member and chair of project approval committees at ICMR and has held prestigious leadership roles, including president of the Indian Society of Hypertension and board member of World Heart Federation, Geneva. His academic impact is extraordinary. I was so inspired to see this number. He has published 1200 plus publications and 120 book chapters. As an aspiring researcher, sir, I have published just 50. I am proud of that, but this actually is a dream for me. And those were the leading journals such as Lancet, BMJ, Nature, and a lot more. He is also recognized as one of the most cited medical authors from India with over 3,15,000 citations. So we are honored to have such a towering figure in cardiovascular science and preventive healthcare with us today. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us, and let's give a huge round of applause to sir. Now it is my complete honor to introduce another, eminent personality, I would say, and to whom I seek direct inspiration from is Dr. Vivek S. Agarwal. Dr. Vivek Agarwal, please join us, sir, and give a huge round of applause. Thank you, sir. Dr. Vivek Agarwal began his journey in the field of medicine, driven by a deep commitment to improve public health. But over time, his work revealed a powerful truth that health outcomes are inseparable from the environment in which people live. This understanding led him to expand his mission beyond clinical care into large-scale environmental and community sustainability systems. Today, he serves as the chairman of the Institute of Chartered Waste Manager and represent India in the International Solid Waste Association. Through his Center for Development Communication, he pioneered India's decentralized municipal solid waste management model, which is now implemented in over 100 cities across diverse regions of the country. So when I feel, when I always talk about my zero waste model that we have implemented in just one village, I know the troubles that were going behind all of that. Every time I go to the village and come back, I used to have painkiller. So, sir, 100 plus cities, I don't know what work you have done, but this is something which is completely, very, very inspirational, and we'll want to learn a lot from you. Well, his initiatives have earned global recognition, including the UN Habitat Scroll of Honor Award and multiple UN Habitat Best Practices Award. He's also the founder of Anakshetra Foundation. I really wanted to tell you this because this actually made me feel really happy to know that he has distributed over 65 million meals to people in need, addressing not only environment but food waste, hunger, and community well-being. So we are privileged to have such a leader who bridges health, sustainability, and societal impact with us today. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Vivek Agarwal. Thank you. I am really taking a lot of time, I know, to read this bio, but they deserve all of that. And I also wanted that we all should know what pioneer works they have done. Now, again, one person to whom whenever I am, I want to lead something in sustainability, and I always, try to convince him that, you should do this and you should do that, is Dr. Sarvesh Agarwal. Dr. Sarvesh Agarwal, please join us in this panel, and it's complete privilege to have you here today. And whenever I call him, he never say no. So despite his very busy schedule, he always, is very open to learning new things, exploring sustainability in healthcare, and let us see what he has to say. Dr. Sarvesh Agarwal is a dynamic healthcare leader and entrepreneur, currently serving as Group CEO and Vice President of Rajasthan Hospitals Limited and Managing Director of Swasth Kalyan Group. A medical graduate from Mahatma Gandhi Medical College, Jaipur, he later pursued advanced leader education at Duke University, USA, where he specialized in finance, strategy, and healthcare management, and also was recognized as a Duke Quality and Innovation Scholar. His international exposure includes working with Cardinal Health USA, where he managed large-scale clinical operations and strategic projects. Back in India, he has been instrumental in strengthening hospital systems with a strong focus on data-driven healthcare, balancing accessibility, quality, and cost, a crucial pillar of, mind you, crucial pillar of sustainable healthcare system. Because when we hear the word sustainable, we always think about environment. No, it is beyond that. It is how your data is integrated into your everyday well-being, everyday operations, which also becomes a crucial pillar of sustainability. Dr. Sarvesh is also actively engaged in healthcare policy and industry leadership. He serves in key role with CII, AHPI, ANBI, and has been elected executive member of Indian Medical Association, Rajasthan. He has been honored with the National Award for Emerging Healthcare Leader, recognizing his contributions to progressive and responsible healthcare leadership. So, a leader who truly bridges medicine, management, system thinking, and sustainability. We are truly delighted to have you here with us. Thank you for joining us. Now, coming to, the last but not the least, our final panelist, who is a very, very close and dear friend also, Mr. Kushagra Juneja. Again, a very smiling personality and always open to, always saying yes to at least me for all our together work that we have planned to do. Mr. Kushagra is the founder and managing partner of Design to Occupancy Services, an international sustainability and engineering consulting firm working at the intersection of climate action, energy efficiency, and high performance built environment. With a background in mechanical and energy engineering, masters in sustainability design, and a PG diploma in renewable energy, He brings strong technical depth to practical on-ground solutions. He is a BEE certified master trainer and lead accredited professional, and his firm, this is really amazing. His startup won a national startup award. They were the finalists in energy efficiency category by the government of India. Huge, huge applause to Kushagra and his team. They work across the space of green building, building performance simulation, mechanical design, energy policy, and they've worked with multiple government as well as international assignments across many, many countries like USA, Middle East, and beyond. He's also served as the Vice President of Indian Building Performance Simulation Association. Why I'm telling all of you that he's one person who will actually help us answer so many questions when it comes to our mind that how. So he's in a way expert in designing sustainability, bringing that, from policy to operation and execution. And ladies and gentlemen, have you realized how mixed and diverse our panel is? So it's a really beautiful panel from clinicians who have, spent their entire life in bringing preventive health care, in getting people, think beyond care. From the people who have, kind of bridged the gap between medical and have went to that sustainability space, getting projects done, to a hospital strategist leader, I would say, as a young person, he brings that dynamicity to the team, to the one who is actually an engineer. So that is the beauty of this group. And now, without further delay, I'm going there to have a lot of good panel discussions. So you be ready with your questions. Thank you. Okay, so now we are going to deep dive into this first panel discussion, whose title is From Care to Commitment, the Future of Sustainable Healthcare. You know, healthcare, when we talk about this term, we always think that, something which is really, really important and that protects our life. We think healthcare as something that is protecting human life. But globally, this healthcare sector, I really want to emphasize this, actually contributes significantly to environmental impact. According to international data, healthcare is responsible for 5% of total global carbon emissions. And within that, hospitals are among the most energy intensive buildings, consuming large volume of Earth's resources, which means electricity, air, water, and material every single day. And whenever I talk to people on this, they say, what is more important than health? So why do we care and why should we care? But today I'm going to take you all towards something very different, that, there is a link between environment and health. We always think that we have to focus on health, and in that chain, we are deteriorating our environment, which is impacting our health even more. Do you all agree? Have you all seen that effect of climate change? We all talk about climate change every day, but have you closely seen that effect coming to our own personal lives now? So in India and across, this data says that rapid urbanization, medical waste generation, resource use, and pressure is increasing. And definitely healthcare systems are expanding because there is a need, but also our environmental footprint. So definitely our challenge is very clear. How do we continue? What should we do? We cannot stop thinking about healthcare. So how do we continue to deliver high quality, safe patient care while reducing our environmental impact? That's the simple question. Kaise kare? Healthcare is very important, but how to stop that environmental impact? But with this, there is another opportunity, and that is very, very powerful. Sustainable healthcare practices means energy efficiency, water stewardship, waste reduction, or green procurement. not only provides us to reduce this environment harm, but also lower our cost. Let us think about this for a moment, just absorb this and let us see what our panelists have to say. So now, my first question is to Dr. Rajiv Gupta, sir. Dr. Rajiv Gupta, as a leader in preventive cardiology, you are seeing a growing number of lifestyle and chronic heart conditions. Today, we know that factors like air pollution, stress, and rapid urbanization are affecting not just our heart health, but overall well being. So, we really want to know, sir, from your clinical perspective and experience, what do you think? Whatever I am talking, does that make sense to you? That is one question, because I come from that background, but of course, we want to know what do the clinicians think about it. Do you, I just also want to know in this that do you notice these days that patients becoming younger or conditions becoming more complex? Can you see that correlation between the two? That is our first thought, sir.
Uh, Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me here and maybe listen to my piece. Let's step back from healthcare to health. And I think the focus now is not healthcare. The younger generation and everyone across the globe is more interested in preventive healthcare or preventive health and how can we prevent uh, illnesses. And I agree with you that environment plays a very important role in all this. Now, technically, we think of environment as environmental pollution, air pollution, ambient, outside the home, inside the homes. But I think we should move away from that. We need to look at the built environment, which is the urbanization. We need to look at the food environment, which is gradually going down, actually. The pollution, the food pollutants are increasing. Look at the tobacco environment. We tend to forget that, actually, because tobacco is still a major risk factor. All over the globe, there are about, I mean, if you just look at India, there are about 1 crore plus deaths every year. And I can tell you that poor environment leads to almost 20% of those. And right now, according to the Global Burden of Study, Disease Study, which we also part of, has clearly mentioned that pollution, environmental pollution, is the biggest source of ill health in the globe, biggest source of mortality, biggest source of disease burden. For many years, we all knew that pollution causes communicable diseases like infections, like diarrheas, like tuberculosis, like many other acute infections or semi-acute infections. But now for the last 20 years or so, there has been a rapid increase in knowledge about the effect of pollution of various types, which I told you, on non-communicable diseases. And right now, I think non-communicable diseases in India, at least 70% of deaths are because of non-communicable disease. Globally, the number is about 90%. So clearly, we need to focus on not only acute illnesses or communicable diseases, but also non-communicable diseases. If we want to, and environment pollution or environment of different kinds is important in all of these conditions. So I think that's my take on the whole thing. Whether we can produce sustainable environmental change that doesn't require healthcare workers, it requires cross disciplinary communication and approach so that everything is tackled. And I have, not me actually, but there's been people who have coined the term health in all policies or whole of society approach. So unless we have a health in all policies approach, we will not be able to attain sustainable health and sustainable health care. I'll end here, and I think other people will take this over.
So true, sir. So thank you, sir, for sharing these thoughts. And in fact, this data that you mentioned about increasing non-communicable diseases now, this is really, impacting us because we really need to think, and definitely for the wonderful opening thoughts on it. And we'll have more of your thoughts later. But now let me go back to Dr. Sarvesh Agarwal. So, Dr. Sarvesh, As a second generation healthcare entrepreneur, you have witnessed how the sector has evolved over time. Looking ahead to the next decade, what do you see where this healthcare is heading? We really want to know in terms of sustainability, responsibility, and integrated care. Do you believe sustainable healthcare will become a core expectation rather than just an option that we are talking about? Or do you think it's even ethical to talk about it? What are your thoughts on it?
Thank you. And first of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Bilal Institute for achieving this immense milestone wherein 35 years of practice. I mean, it's just 1 year younger to me. So it's a huge accomplishment. So many congratulations. And Sudeepti asking me that question is quite ironic because a lot of conversations that I've had about sustainability has been with her. And we have had these huge, long conversations about how sustainability without the inculcation of having a lot of viability indices is kind of mute to a modern entrepreneur. So you rightly mentioned as a second generation entrepreneur. So it's important to talk about the first generation ones. So for the first generation entrepreneurs, my family, the people who are my predecessors, for them it was all about access, it was all about scale, and it was all about survival. We did not have enough information, we did not have enough problems as associated with environmental sustainability as we have now. But now when we see things in a much larger aspect, there are 5 core points. So when I was thinking about what I should be pointing towards, there were these 5 specific things that I thought about. The first, as a healthcare entrepreneur, the first, of course, comes, which is the most important part, is patient safety. When it comes to patient safety, infection control, things of those nature. The second is the safety and retention of our employees, the building a safe healthcare resource ecosystem. The third part is, which is very important nowadays, is around governmental compliances. The fourth part is cost efficiency. And when we mix all those 4, we come towards this amalgamation about a viable healthcare infrastructure or an ecosystem. So when we talk about sustainability, we talk about all these 5 elements. And for us now, in the scenario that we are, this is not something which is optional as it was for our predecessors. It is something which is absolutely mandatory. So when we come to it point by point, so patient safety is something which is absolutely paramount now. Healthcare is more or less now being treated as a hospitality sector. We need to ensure that none of our misgivings or laxities when it comes to maintaining a sustainable ecosystem, maintaining an environment that is devoid of infections or minimizes infectional risks is there. So that is something which is a basic expectation from a healthcare setup, specifically from private healthcare setup, where patient comes, patient pays either themselves or through their cashless partners. It is a basic expectation that they carry. Similarly, when it comes to the human resource aspect, it has become so competitive to retain the best talent out there. And you cannot do that unless you have very sustainable practices. And sustainable practices is just not practices where you provide your HR with the best compensation. It is also about safe ecosystem. It is also about safe organizational practices. So we see so many patients. Rajiv sir is here with probably like 50 years of experience. So your HR staff suffering from these needle stick injuries, having a proper annual health checkup. so all these things are an intrinsic part of it. So it becomes really important for us to embrace sustainability, provide them with an ecosystem which is safe, provide them with an ecosystem which is, which they can probably be proud of. Then the next aspect is governmental compliances. So this is the huge one. We probably ended up saving somewhere around, I would say, upwards of 20 lakhs an annum over the last few years, just by following certain governmental mandates that are out there, which a lot of people don't know about, or which are not enforced absolutely certainly right now. That includes the groundwater allowance that is required onto you. So there are so many mandates associated with that. If you consume more than 100 kiloliters of water per day, if you generate waste which is more than 80 kiloliters per day, there are so many mandates associated with that. If you consume electricity which is upwards of a certain limit. So those kind of governmental compliances, as you grow bigger, as you acquire a lot of scale, are really important. So for you to achieve that kind of scale or grow, continually grow bigger, it's really important to comply with that, and sustainability kind of ties in with all those compliances. And when you do all of that, that creates a lot of cost efficiencies and viability. So when so Deepthi and I had this conversation 6 months back about, how this would improve the overall cost efficiency of the hospital. And that is something that I'm proud of saying, that it is something which the hospital leadership also and, my seniors also aspire towards, which is that when we embrace all these sustainable options such as solar, such as reducing minimal waste generation of water consumption outputs or fixtures, that is something that generates a lot of cost efficiency, which in end kind of drive you towards an investor sentiment, which those investors are really embraced and interested towards investing in. So at the end of the day, we are all looking towards these external investors to come in and see our organization as a beacon of cost efficiency, and that can only be done with sustainability as of now. So in short, it is no more an option for us. It was for our predecessors, but it is mandatory for us, and I think we should be very deeply delving into it.
Wow, I'm so happy that all of this is getting recorded, because this is actually wonderful pitch for me to speak on, because something that is coming from you on sustainable healthcare was actually on point. We always say that ethically nahi kar rahe ho to cost samajh ke kar lo. Kushagra and me also have been talking about it, but you have actually demonstrated wonderful illustrations of how sustainability, I really want to tell you one thing. So for our older generation, when they were working, and when they knew somehow that, okay, we are making some harm to the environment by doing something. So the concept came out as CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. We always thought of कि अगर कुछ कर रहे हैं तो कहीं plants लगा देते हैं या कुछ corporate social responsibility करते हैं जिससे हमारे कुछ effects वो हो जाए. But now, since we are doing more harm, CSR is now embedded into another tool which we say ESG. And Dr. Sarvesh has very well mentioned that sustainability is a broader concept, but ESG is a tool. So if we talk about E, which is environment, so as he said that just by putting solar, we are saving energy and also environment. Just by making sure that groundwater is used as per the compliance, we are talking about E and G, governance. And people, safety, community, everybody is under S, social. So whatever you have said, all these 5 points is actually covered under ESG, which is no more, I think, an option. And as you have very well put, I'm so happy to hear this, that, it is no more an option. It is mandatory. It is a necessity. We have to do it. So thank you, Dr. Sarvesh, for putting all of this. And now we want to hear thoughts. A very unique perspective Dr. Vivek actually puts into this, because he has worked in the healthcare space earlier, and now deeply embedded into sustainability space. So sir, we really want to know, this, because you have this both hat experience and dual exposure that you bring. So we want to know, how do you see healthcare institutions now are beginning to see sustainability as a core strategy rather than just compliance? So what is the transition all about?
धन्यवाद सुदीप्ति। सबसे पहले तो डॉक्टर बीलाल क्लिनिकल लैब और इंस्टीट्यूट के जो स्वप्न दृष्टा हैं, 35 वर्ष पहले जिन्होंने एक स्वप्न देखा और वो आज साकार हुआ, और उससे भी बहुत श्रेष्ठतर बात जो है कि उन्होंने अपने आप को सीमित नहीं रखा क्लिनिकल साइड में, प्रकृति के साथ जोड़ा। जहाँ सुदीप्ति आई और वो पूरी प्रकृति के साथ जुड़ गया। आपने एक जब बात कर रहे थे तो आपने कहा कि मैंने शुरुआत तो, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग हैं, डॉक्टर राजीव गुप्ता हैं, डॉक्टर एस अग्रवाल है, बहुत अनेक लोग हैं जिनके साथ मैंने अपने स्वास्थ्य का सफ़र चालू किया। लेकिन मेरे एक गुरु थे डॉक्टर रामेश्वर शर्मा, मैं उनका स्मरण करना चाहता हूँ। जब मैं पढ़ ही रहा था, पहले MBBS में ही था, तो उन्होंने कहा, बेटा जी क्या बनोगे? मैंने कहा डॉक्टर बनेंगे, मेडिकल कॉलेज में आए तो डॉक्टर ही बनेंगे। तो क्या एक मरीज को ठीक करने वाले डॉक्टर बनोगे या 1 लाख मरीज को ठीक करने वाले डॉक्टर बनोगे? मेरे को तब उनकी वो किंवदंती समझ में नहीं आई। लेकिन जब ग्रेजुएट किया तो वो किंवदंती समझ में आई कि दैट ही वांटेड मी टू बिकम अ पब्लिक हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल, and that's how I turned into. And second thing, you cannot compare health and sustainability or health or environment. क्या हम शरीर और आत्मा को अलग कर सकते हैं? कर सकते हैं क्या जी? जब शरीर और आत्मा अलग नहीं हो सकती तो स्वास्थ्य और पर्यावरण या सस्टेनेबिलिटी तो कभी अलग हो ही नहीं सकती। स्वास्थ्य तो उस सस्टेनेबिलिटी का एक बहुत छोटा सा अवयव है। इट्स माइनर कंपोनेंट, एंड व्हाट वी हैव थॉट, because when we talk about the sustainability, I'll just deliberate a little bit on that, because this term is being used so often and being used from local to the global. What does it mean? Does it mean something? What is sustainability means which does not have any beginning or does not have any end. And what is Sanatan? सनातन का भी क्या परिभाषा देते हैं हम? जिसका ना आदि ना कोई अंत, वही सनातन। So well, why I am giving this reference is कि जब हम बात करते हैं सस्टेनेबिलिटी की तो हमको हमारे जीवन पद्धति को एक बार दोबारा देखना पड़ेगा। हमारी जो जीवन पद्धति रही, भारतीय जो जीवन पद्धति रही, इस धरा की जो जीवन पद्धति रही, वो सस्टेनेबल ही थी। आज जब पाश्चात्य देश कहते हैं यू शुड हैव नेट जीरो पॉलिसी, नेट जीरो टारगेट्स, you should have that policy in place whenever you talk about ESG or something else. That is the core thing where they drive you. लेकिन भारत में तो ये from time immortal, सनातन काल से, मतलब जब से इस पृथ्वी का, जब राजा पृथु ने जब पृथ्वी को वापस से जीवित किया, उस काल से अगर हम देखते हैं तो हम तो सस्टेनेबल हैं। What is missing? हम लोग सब आ गए ये पाश्चात्य प्रभाव में, अंग्रेजी के प्रभाव में, पाश्चात्य प्रभाव में हम लोग आ गए, और वहीं से हमने क्या किया कि लेट अस टॉक अबाउट सस्टेनेबिलिटी, लेट अस टॉक अबाउट एनवायरमेंट। वो तो हमारी आत्मा है, आत्मा के बारे में उसको जानने की बात है, उसको प्रकट करने की बात है, लेकिन हमने उसको प्रकट नहीं किया, उसको समझा नहीं। हमने तो उसको एक एक्सटर्नल चीज समझी, जैसे कि और जगह पे समझी जाती है। तो स्वास्थ्य को हमने पर्यावरण से या स्वास्थ्य को हमने सस्टेनेबिलिटी से दोनों को अलग अलग कंपार्टमेंट में देखने लग गए, जो कि एक उचित नहीं था। तो वहीं पे मुझे लगा कि इस क्षेत्र में कुछ कार्य करना चाहिए और मैं कचरा उठाने लग गया। हाँ जी, मैं कचरा उठाता हूँ, मैं कचरा श्रमिक हूँ। तो मैंने 1994 में जब कचरा उठाना प्रारंभ किया, तब समझ में आया, क्योंकि एक चुनौती थी कि आप स्वास्थ्य को तब तक प्राप्त नहीं कर सकते जब तक कि इस कचरे का निस्तारण नहीं हो जाए। कितना ही स्वास्थ्य के लिए कितने ही बड़े बड़े अस्पताल खोल दीजिए, कितने ही कार्यक्रम ले आइए, लेकिन अगर कचरे का निस्तारण नहीं हुआ तो मान के चलिए कि हम स्वास्थ्य की कल्पना भी नहीं कर सकते। वेल, ये एक ब्रॉड थॉट जिसके साथ मैं आगे बढ़ना चाहता था। आपने कहा कि कहाँ कंप्लायंसेस है और कहाँ उसको हम स्वयं रूप से अपनाते हैं। मैं दो प्रसंग का जिक्र करके अपनी वार्ता को समाप्त करता हूं। हम लोग, एक भारत का प्रसंग लेता हूं, एक बाहर का, क्योंकि हम लोग बाहर से बहुत चीज़ों को सोचते हैं कि हमको ऐसा बनना चाहिए, ऐसा बनना चाहिए, अमेरिका बनना चाहिए, यूरोप बनना चाहिए, ऐसा बनना चाहिए। भारत का प्रसंग, हम में से कितने लोग सीट बेल्ट काहे के लिए लगाते हैं जी? किस लिए सीट बेल्ट लगाते हैं? क्योंकि पुलिस वाला कहीं चालान नहीं करते। हम हेलमेट भी इसीलिए लगाते रहे कि कहीं उससे चालान नहीं हो जाए। हम इसलिए नहीं लगाते कि ये हमारी सुरक्षा का माध्यम है। मैंने अपनी बात कह दी है, समझने वाले समझ जाए। दूसरा जो प्रसंग है, हम विदेशों से बहुत उदाहरण लेते हैं कि वो बहुत कंप्लायंट होते हैं। कंप्लायंसेस की बहुत बात होती है ना कि दे आर कंप्लायंट। कोई कंप्लायंट नहीं होता जी। अगर कंप्लायंट होते तो रोज नहा लेते वो लोग। वो तो हफ्ते में एक दिन नहाने वाले लोग हैं। वहां पे कचरे का निस्तारण, ट्रैफिक का निस्तारण, किसी चीज का भी निस्तारण क्यों होता है? बिकॉज दे आर also governed with the compliances and they are governed with the instant penalty, that is the enforcement which they have. वहां से एक दिन के लिए एनफोर्समेंट हटा लीजिए और वहां पे देखिए कि भारत से ज़्यादा गंद वहां पे आपको मिलेगी। मैं अपनी बात जो कंप्लायंसेस से लेके और इसके अपने अपनाने के लेके शायद अपनी बात को स्पष्ट कर पाया हूँ। धन्यवाद सुदीप।
थैंक यू सो मच सर। आपने बहुत खूबसूरती से एक्चुअली सस्टेनेबिलिटी को एक नया डायमेंशन पे आप ले गए, दैट इज़ स्पिरिचुअलिटी। और ये मैं भी बहुत ज़्यादा मानती हूँ कि अगर कंप्लायंस से नहीं मान रहे तो उनको लिंक कर दो उनके कर्मा से कि ये करने से कर्म भी खराब होते हैं, कैसे भी करके। सो स्पिरिचुअलिटी से आपने जब उसे लिंक किया, इट इज़ एक्चुअली वेरी ब्यूटीफुल दैट ये दो चीज़ें एक ही हैं, ये अलग नहीं हो सकती हैं, like your heart and soul. So now we want to actually hear from Kushak. Sorry for keep you waiting for so long, but we really want to know, since we know that you have worked across so many hospitals and make them sustainable in real. So what is your experiences that you want to share? क्योंकि जितना मैं समझती हूँ डॉक्टर सर्वेश जैसे मोटिवेटेड लोग बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं मुझे मिले हैं हेल्थ केयर सेक्टर में, और वहाँ बहुत बड़ा बर्डन, बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर आता है कॉस्ट बर्डन का, तो उस पर भी इफ़ यू कैन एम्फसाइज ऑन समथिंग।
Thank you, Sudipti, and once again, congratulations on achieving this milestone, and thank you for inviting me, always keeping me in your thoughts whenever it comes about sustainability. So cost, I think Sarvesh ji very beautifully highlighted in his 5 aspects, but all of those were, I would say, pretty tangible in nature. What Sir said was pretty intangible in nature. So I think sustainability has 2 parts to it. One is a very tangible part which you can absolutely measure. क्या safety protocols हमने follow किए can be measured. What cost implications are being incurred can be measured. What infection control mechanisms we have and how much infection is rising or being transferred in an inpatient person can be measured. There is also a part which is intangible, and then I'll come to cost part also to it. We were talking about when he said that our predecessors did not have some challenges that we have today, which is very right, and I'll put it into words. Sir has been practicing for so long, and it's a little overwhelming to be the only non-doctor on the panel, but Did you ever have a challenge of not having enough daylight? Was daylight even discussed? Because everyone was playing outdoors. We had cricket grounds, play areas outside. We were not going to play areas, indoor play areas. We were going to playgrounds. So access to daylight was not a problem 20 years ago. Access to fresh air, is it a problem? Fresh air was not a problem 20 years ago. I was speaking to a friend of mine who's an American citizen but stayed in Delhi for 7 years, and he said 2006 to 2012 when he was in Delhi, he was going to the sports stadiums and they were playing, not complaining about the air quality. So these are very basic things. Now let us imagine there's an old person. I think all of us have had old people in our family who are bedridden, not able to walk, not able to do their daily necessities on their own. And let us say that they have a caretaker. What do you tell the caretaker every day? Or what do you tell a sick person every day who is at your home, not in a hospital setting? You say, go get some fresh air. जाओ थोड़ा धूप में बैठो. चलो तुम्हें धूप में ले चलते हैं. चलो बाऊजी को घुमाने ले चलते हैं बाहर. उनका थोड़ा मन बहल जाएगा, थोड़ी खुली हवा में सांस लेंगे. So what are these things? Can you really measure these things? No. Now you talk about a hospital ICU, and it's a budding question nowadays. We're working with PGI Chandigarh, and the question is that how do we bring daylight and fresh air to ICU rooms so that the recovery is faster? Because when a person is seeing birds chirping outside, when he's able to see life outside, he's able to relate to it, he's able to recover faster. He has the enthu of life coming back into him, and not by seeing other patients who are maybe more sicker than him. So can those ethos be brought again in the day-to-day healthcare setting? Talking about costs, how does compliances begin? Sir talked about water being a compliance. CGWA का एक compliance है, pollution control board का एक compliance है. What is the water quality that we are getting today? सीतापुरा में बहुत सारे, it's starting to become the healthcare hub. Lot of hospitals are coming up. हम कहते हैं बीसलपुर का पानी, बहुत सारा पानी इज नाउ ग्राउंड वाटर पम्प्ड ऑल्सो. क्या TDS इमेजिन करते हैं आप किसी एक फैसिलिटी में, हेल्थ केयर फैसिलिटी में जो इनकमिंग वाटर का होगा? यस, 1500 to 2000 is the groundwater TDS that people in Sitapura are pumping in their hospitals, and not humans, even pipelines cannot survive that water. Now you're bringing that TDS water inside your building. आप उसको treat करके 150-200 TDS पे ला रहे हो कि वो पीने योग्य usable बने. अब आप क्या कर रहे हो, उसको आप फेंक रहे हो बाहर, एंड दोबारा एक नए 2000 TDS के पानी को ट्रीट कर रहे हो. विज़ एक STP सिस्टम लगा है, एक वाटरलेस यूरिनल लगा है, एक रेन वाटर स्टोरेज टैंक लगा है, जो आपके प्रेमाइस में एक बार पानी आया, वो एक बार ट्रीट हुआ, उसके बाद वो STP के द्वारा दोबारा ट्रीट होकर फ्लश में यूज़ हुआ. रेन का पानी जो भी आया, 400 mm की रेनफॉल है जयपुर में, और इवन एक 800 से 1000 स्क्वायर मीटर का प्लॉट साल का आराम से 3 से 4 लाख लीटर पानी इकट्ठा कर सकता है, विच इज़ सफिशिएंट फॉर अ नॉर्मल बिल्डिंग्स ड्रिंकिंग वाटर. रेन वाटर का TDS क्या होता है? एनीवन? 20 से 25 TDS. बीसलपुर का पानी, जिसकी जयपुर वाले काफ़ी हम कहते हैं कि हमारा बीसलपुर का पानी है. व्हाट इज़ बीसलपुर वाटर? इट इज़ रेन वाटर आफ्टर ऑल. क्या स्पेशल है बीसलपुर पानी में जो हमारी छत के पानी में नहीं है? ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. वी आर स्टिल यूवीइंग इट. हम फिर भी UV ट्रीटमेंट कर रहे हैं, UF ट्रीटमेंट कर रहे हैं. और पानी एक बहुत इजी एग्जाम्पल है जो थोड़ा अंडर वैल्यूड है. एक कैंसर एक्सप्रेस करके ट्रेन चलती है, मुझे इसलिए पता है क्योंकि PGI के लिए वो ट्रेन संगरूर से चंडीगढ़ चलाई जाती है. And one of the reasons of cancer spreading in Sangrur is the groundwater quality, because of the pesticides that were released in the farms, and वो groundwater में seep हो गए, heavy metals आए. RO treat नहीं करेगा heavy metals को, बट आपके पास एब्सोल्यूट कंट्रोल है अपनी छत के पानी से, उस पानी को. और ट्रीटमेंट की कॉस्ट क्या है, स्टोरेज की कॉस्ट क्या है? 15 रुपये लीटर. पानी की बोतल क्या कॉस्ट करती है? 15 रुपये लीटर. 15 रुपये लीटर में अगर आप अपनी फॉरएवर ड्रिंकिंग वाटर की पे कंट्रोल ला सकते हैं, उसको स्टोर कर सकते हैं और उसको यूज़ कर सकते हैं विद अ क्वालिटी ऑफ वाटर दैट इज एब्सोल्युटली प्रिडिक्टेबल, एब्सोल्युटली ऑन योर टेरेस, एब्सोल्युटली अंडर योर कंट्रोल इन अ फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट, व्हाई नॉट? एंड विच कंप्लायंस आर वी वेटिंग टू कंप्लाई विद टू अचीव दिस? गवर्नमेंट क्या कहती है? नेट जीरो वाटर अचीव करो. क्यों हम कंप्लायंस को कंप्लायंस की दृष्टि से अभी भी देख रहे हैं? क्यों ना हम पहले एक पहल करें जिससे कंप्लायंस एक बाय प्रोडक्ट बन जाए रादर देन कंप्लायंस बीइंग अ बर्डन ऑन अस, और देन लुकिंग एट इट कि हाँ कंप्लायंस है तो कंप्लायंस हमें कंप्लायंस से डेफिनेटली फ़ायदा होगा, बट कंप्लायंस से पहले क्या हम उस दिशा में जा सकते हैं जहाँ पर compliance becomes a byproduct, where the government says that you're doing so much that you are already net zero. Whatever law you will bring, you'll already be compliant. So I think with that thought, I'll leave it to the rest of the panel to share the thoughts. Thank you, Sudeep.
Thank you, Kushak, for bringing that insightful thoughts. If you don't know and if you're really interested to know, Kushag has a net zero awarded building he has made, which is very, very beautiful in a way that it has everything. You do not need to switch on lights, like right now we are sitting in this hall with several lights on contributing to climate change. So they have made a building which is completely net zero and water positive and lot of more things that they do. So they are truly setting up example, and you all are, I'm inviting on his behalf to all of you to visit D2O net zero building. So thank you so much, Kushag, and in fact everybody for putting your insightful thoughts. And see, these panels are just food for thought for you to see how you take inspiration from and motivation, and they all are here for with us for more time. So just because we are short of time, I just want to ask very quick question to all of you, and it is we'll start with Rajiv sir first. That's if you can pass. So, this question is for all of you to answer, that if we meet again 10 years from now, what would a truly sustainable healthcare system look like? And not just for hospitals, but for clinicians, patients, and community. What is one change you hope we would be achieving by then?
I think interesting question that what is the future of sustainable healthcare? I will talk of the invert pyramid. I think focus on sustainable health in a particular individual and then go up. How to ensure that every person who is born on this earth has a sustainable health all through his life. He achieves maybe 100 years of age, healthy. So there is a sustainable health. And we have to work on that particular principle, that how do we sustain a healthy individual, taking care of all the environment, all the conditions, all the bacteria, water, air, social network, whatever it is. So can we do that? Think about that. I think there is the biggest question facing mankind, that why do a young child dies at the age of 5 years? Many of my patients I see at the age of 30 years or 40 years getting heart attacks, no risk factors excepting pollution. And we treat him and we send him back to the same environment. You correct his arteries, send him back to the same environment, bad society, bad water, bad air, poverty, no drugs. Within 5 years, he's dead. So I think we need to think of that how do we create a sustainable health using sustainable healthcare as a model, but beyond that, we have to use a society as a model. Thank you.
Amazing. So the secret to the sustainable healthcare lies in sustainability, and that is what sir has emphasized. Thank you for putting this very beautifully, sir. Over to you, sir.
What I look at after 10 years or within 10 years now, that let us start talking about responsible. When I talk responsible, it is not only the consumer, it is also the provider. So both end, when they become the responsible provider and responsible consumer, then yes, we can achieve what we want, a sustainable society, an inclusive society also. What we need today is inclusive society where we have cake for everyone, may it be from the bottom of pyramid to the top, and there is no differentiation. That is the sustainability. And it should be affordable, and beyond that, the focus should be more on the prevention than the curative practices. Unfortunately, what we have done, हमने स्वास्थ्य की भाषा को जो है, स्वास्थ्य की परिभाषा को है, चिकित्सा में कन्वर्ट कर दिया है.
I think, sir, the next panel is all about that, preventive healthcare and
So
longevity.
that is what I look at.
Great, sir.
So, see, I mean, it was in his initial statements, Rajiv sir very well put, ki can we actually sustainability? So what is health at the end of it? So health cannot be differentiated from sustainability. Infection control cannot be digressed from sustainability. At the end of it, health in general is the social, mental, physical, and psychological well being, the mental well being of any person. And to push sustainability, to embrace sustainability, is basically to push for a better ecosystem which embraces health of the entire community. तो सी हम तो उस कल्चर में से आते हैं जहाँ पे ये जब खाना खा रहे होते हैं उससे पहले कुछ साइड में हम फूड रखते हैं कि हमारे जो पशु पक्षी होंगे उनको खिलाने के लिए, या हम हमारे घर में तुलसी का पेड़ लगाते हैं कि अच्छा जो है ना वाइब्स आए, पॉजिटिव वाइब्स आए घर के अंदर। फल छोटे छोटे जो 2-4 पेड़ पौधे लगाते हैं फल फ्रूट्स के लिए। एंड इफ यू कम टू इट, विवेक सर वेरी probably very appropriately said कि हवा पानी कितना आता है। कुशाग्र जी ने भी बताया कि कितना हवा पानी आता है। सर्काडियन रिदम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर आईसीयू पेशेंट्स। कब दिन हो रहा है, कब रात हो रही है, अटैचमेंट टू द एनवायरनमेंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सो just putting sustainability and health in two different baskets is something which is no more acceptable. It is something which we cannot afford to do because it is not conducive to good health. So if you want to embrace health conducive organizations, whether it be hospitals or I would challenge whether it be any other organization out there, we need to embrace sustainability, we need to embrace environment, and we need to ensure that we leave a planet which is better, or if not even better, just equal to what we received when we were of the generation when we started doing our living.
So can we say to live in harmony with the planet? I think that is one keyword that I take from your talk. Thank you so much.
No, I think very beautifully put, and I would just say that while we all a pretty privilege, everyone sitting in this room has a certain level of privilege. I would say that everything is evaluatable by cost, and everything, the tangibility of everything is measurable. I think our privilege should be utilized in providing what is intangible. What he said is done in the home. Can the same be replicated in the environment? I'll cite an example of Sudipti conducting a gratitude workshop in our office for our leadership team. And that really changed how people looked at their jobs. People who were complaining about something yesterday are actually happy that they have a job in a changing scenario today. So it's not about, like he said, you cannot always, it's not about giving a very high compensation to your HR, but it's also about the intangible aspects, things that cannot be measured, but have a very, I would say, deep impact. Those little things in sustainability, those little things that change emotions, that change your association to nature, is really what will make a difference. So if all of us can really think about that one intangible change that we can make in our organizations, I think that will bring the real sustainability deep-rooted.
Yes, amazing, amazing. What do you think, guys? Okay, let me go back to my audience now. What do you think about this panel discussion? Okay, let me ask again, how happy you are? I cannot see, I cannot hear. How happy you are? So if you can show your smile and give a big round of applause to all our panelists, it would mean that आपको sustainability समझ आई है. And I think one takeaway, at least for me, is that we start small, but we take one action each day to live in harmony with the planet. That's my closing thought. And now, before we conclude, I would like to leave you with a few lines. Healing hands, healing earth. We heal with skill, with science, with care. Yet we breathe the same troubled air we share. We treat each life that comes our way but the earth too needs healing every day. A hospital heals with light inside, but healing must walk with nature beside. Less waste, more wisdom. Less harm, more heart. Sustainability is where true care starts. For when we protect the soil and sky, we protect the reason our patients thrive. So let's all promise be wider than walls to heal the planet that shelters us all. Thank you all once again for this meaningful conversation. Let's move from awareness to action. Have a wonderful evening, all of you. And now I'll give this mic to Mr. Nikunj. Thank you so much. Please be seated for a while.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sudipti and our esteemed panelists, for such an insightful discussion. So today's conversation reminded us of something very powerful. Healthcare cannot be limited to hospital walls. It must be extended to the air we breathe, the water we use, and the waste we generate, and the systems we build. Sustainable healthcare is not an additional responsibility, it is the foundation of future ready healthcare. Because true healing happens when we protect both people and the planet. From rethinking resources to redesigning the systems, the discussion has shown us the future of healthcare lies in the commitment beyond care. As we conclude this enriching series of conversation, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speakers and the panelists who shared the time, knowledge, and the vision with us today. Your insights have not only enlightened us but also have to inspire to rethink the future of healthcare, making it more sustainable, more innovative, and more human centered. On behalf of DBCL, we would like to present a small token of appreciation, not just as a gesture of thanks, but as a symbol of our shared commitment. Along with the memento, we are gifting saplings to our distinguished guests because tonight's discussions were all about sustainability, responsibility, and the future. And what the better way to honor than the nurturing life itself? Each sapling represents growth, resilience, and a promise to build a healthier planet. May I request our dignitaries to kindly come forward as we felicitate them. So it's my privilege to invite Dr. Rajiv Gupta for felicitation. May I request Dr. Karan Maurya, Laboratory Director and Head of COE Lab Medicine, to kindly join us on stage to felicitate him. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Vivek S. Agarwal for felicitation. I request Dr. Karan Maurya, Laboratory Director and Head COE Lab Medicine, to please do the honors, sir. May I now request Dr. Sarvesh Agarwal to please come forward. To felicitate him, I invite Dr. Sandeep Srivastav, Senior Consultant and Executive Director, CIRD and Head, COE Molecular Genomics. I now invite Mr. Kushagra Juneja for felicitation. May I request Mr. Avinash Singh, CTO Dr. Bilal Clinical Laboratory, to kindly felicitate him. Finally, I would like to invite Dr. Sudipti Arora ma'am to please join us on stage To felicitate her, I request Dr. Rajendra Ola, research scientist, CIRD and COE Molecular Genomics to felicitate. Yeah, I think we can have a group picture. Thank you to all our distinguished guests for being a part of this conclave and for enriching our journey with your presence and contribution. With this, now we move ahead. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, as we gather at the Healthcare Excellence Conclave, we are also standing at a very special milestone for Dr. B. Lal Clinical Laboratory. 35 years is not just a number on a timeline. In healthcare, 35 years means millions of decisions taken with confidence, countless diagnoses trusted, and lives guided by accuracy. Our annual theme this year is Hum Sab Mein Hai 35. And this thought comes from a very simple yet powerful belief that this legacy does not live inside the walls, machines, or reports alone. It lives in every doctor who relied on report before making a critical decision. It lives in every patient and family whose journey changed because the diagnosis was right. It lives in every technician and the team member who choose precision over shortcuts. And it lives in every stakeholder who believe that the healthcare must always stand on integrity. We're not just completing 35 years as an institution, we are becoming a part of countless human stories. So, before we continue with our next panel, we invite you to witness this shared journey, a journey that belongs to all of us in the room, because this legacy is not ours alone. हम सब में है 35. So I would request the video team to please live the video.
इस सुबह में है वो, इस तैयारी में है वो, इस ख्याल रखने में है वो, इस हिम्मत में है वो, इस सुकून में है वो। अलग लोग अलग कहानियां पर एक ही चीज सब में है, हम सब में है 35 है वो।
Thank you so much. That was Hum Sab Mein Hai 35, a reminder that healthcare is a shared legacy shaped by trust, responsibility, and people who constantly ask one question: can we do better for the patient? And that question naturally leads us to the next segment of our today's conclave. In the modern healthcare, excellence is no longer defined only by treating symptoms. It is increasingly about understanding the why behind the disease, about the personalization, prevention, and long term outcomes. This shift from reactive care to root cause based medicine is where today's keynote becomes extremely relevant. It's my privilege to invite a clinician who has been at the forefront of this evolving paradigm in India. Dr. Ashwini Garg is a practicing physician and the co founder of Functional Medicine Clinic. His clinical expertise spans functional medicine, longevity science, chronic disease reversal, brain health, autism, mitochondrial segmentation, peptides, and regenerative medicines with a strong emphasis on personalized root cause driven care. What truly distinguishes his work is the integration of science with the clinical intuition, helping patients not just manage the disease but restore health at its foundation. So today, Dr. Garg will be sharing his insights on the relevance of functional medicine in modern clinical practice, a topic that resonates deeply with every clinician navigating the complexities of chronic and lifestyle-driven diseases. So over to you, sir.
Well, thank you so much. I'll go fast so that we don't waste a lot of time. Well, chronic disease means mitochondria is not keeping okay. Be it diabetes, be it hypothyroidism, be it brain disorders, autoimmune problems, mitochondria is at the problem. If any chronic problem is happening, we have to look at the mitochondria. So in longevity medicine, we want to look at the mitochondria. We want to ensure mitochondrial health is good so that metabolic disorders and energy production disorders are taken care. Second, of course, as we want to live longer, we want to live healthier, we want to ensure our organ functions are okay. Our kidneys are okay, brain is okay. So this is where, along with the lifestyle medicine, we bring in the science of peptides, which can enhance the organ function. We can improve the organ function. Now, our immune system is the key for longevity also, and immune system being controlled by the microbiota. So our gut has a lot of these trillions of microbes. So if we improve the microbiome, we can certainly improve our immune system, our organ systems, and thereby longevity prevails. Next, of course, we want to detox. I mean, there's a previous session we talked about the toxins, the pollutions and pollutants. If we eat more, we inhale more, we consume more, a lot of these start accumulating into our tissues, and it can lead to a lot of the chronic problems. And if we allow the body, help the body, detox these things, and a lot of good can happen. Of course, nutrition. We are made of the nutrition. Our physical body is made from the nutrition. So we have to eat well, and we can, of course, with the modern sciences, we can test what is missing, and we really can feed ourselves what is missing, and thereby we can make sure our mitochondria keeps well and longevity keeps okay. Circadian biology is the critical link. Today we are sitting under blue lights. Our mitochondria is not able to sense when is to metabolize and when is to repair. So when we get into circadian rhythms, that means we go under sun when it is day, and we go under darkness when it is dark. This is where mitochondria gets into sync with the circadian rhythms. This is where repair happens. 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the time when body has to start repairing. So when we are not under circadian syncs, we don't repair. We don't repair, we age faster. Of course, stress is a critical component of today's life, and stress means we have weakened immune system, we have weakened our hormones, we had weakened our repair mechanisms, we have weakened our digestive processes. So if we help our patients reduce their mental stress, physical stress, in whatever form shape we can do, we should do that. Of course, sleep. Sleep helps to repair. Sleep helps to, daytime we metabolize, when we sleep we repair. Repair processes are very, very important for our longevity. So this is all the things that we look at when it comes to longevity sciences. So I'll go a little more detail into it. So modern science has given us a lot of tools to understand the problem better. But largely conventional system, we're looking at symptom-based approach. This is a diagnosis, this is a drug. But longevity science can give us a way forward to understand the pathology. We call it a root-based approach. Well, from a functional medicine standpoint of view or longevity standpoint of view, if somebody has a high blood sugar, what is the reason? Is this a metabolic disorder, which means mitochondria is unhealthy, or is a beta cell dysfunction? Okay, so if we can differentiate these two, take the right corrective actions, probably we can do a better job for our patients. For example, somebody gets into autoimmune problem, their ANA is high, anti-CCPI high. What is causing these autoantibodies to be rising? Is it gut permeability, which is the problem? Is it heavy metals like lead, aluminium, mercury, which is causing these antibodies to be high? Is it a thymus gland, which is degenerating faster, which is losing control on the immune system? Because of that, we are having a autoimmune rise. So we can look at all these aspects through a root cause approach. Somebody gets a chest pain. Is it a artery blocked or is it a mitochondrial dysfunction in the myocyte? What is the problem? Well, a lot of my work is with autism. Autism is a spectrum disorder, but if you look at it, break down the symptoms, you will realize that a lot of these symptoms the child is having are because they have a poor biology. For example, toe walking is a common symptom in autistic children. Now, fungal infections in an autistic child will lead to oxalate formation. Oxalates will go deposit under the feet and they can lead to painful walking. Thereby a child start walking on the toe. So a lot of times, if we understand the pathology better, with the mechanics behind it, probably we can do a much better thing for our patients we are working with, of course, and thereby improving their health spans. And of course, they can live longer also. Well, when it comes to autoimmune problems, lot of the dysregulators of our immune system, it can be the toxins. Lot of these autoimmune patients, their microbiome is quite dysregulated. If you look at them, they will have fungal infections, they will have Clostridia infection, they will have parasitic infection. They are causing a condition called leaky gut, and leaky gut can cause autoimmune condition. So again, root cause medicine, longevity medicine helps us to understand the problem in more detail. We have all the tools necessary already with us. We just have to look at the way we'll treat it differently. Food sensitivities also can be a major dysregulator of the immune system. If I eat gluten, for example, and my system cannot digest it well, it leads to molecular mimicry and my system can get inflamed and start making autoantibodies. So some of the critical things, if we start looking at in a different perspective, we can help our patients get faster, better. So in conventional system, we try to suppress the immune system. In a longevity science, we want to see what are the dysregulators the immune system has. Is it dysbiosis leading to leaky gut? Is it chronic stress leading to dysregulation of immune system? Is it heavy metals causing dysregulation of immune system, or is it the thymus gland which is degenerating? Accordingly, we can plan a more personalized treatment plans for them. We can do advanced testing, we can do microbiome testing, we can do zonulin testing, we can do organic acids to understand what are the different infections producing different metabolites and how they are affecting the immune system. Well, in diabetes, blood sugar is high. What is causing this blood sugars to be high? Is it the cell where the mitochondria has to consume the sugars and turn into energy? Is the problem there? Or the pancreas is not able to make enough insulin, thereby the dysregulation of blood sugar is there. So again, if we do advanced diagnostics, we can understand the mechanics of the problem and accordingly we can take a better actions for them. For example, a lot of time we get patients just with the diet and lifestyle. We cut down their sugars, we cut down their carbohydrate intake, we'll reduce the calorie intake, the blood sugars becomes normal. And sometimes the beta cell function is compromised. We can test the fasting insulin and understand the mechanics. And if we required, we can use insulin also. Well, these are some of the key tests we can do to evaluate the pathology. Now, hypothyroidism, if you look at it, we typically look at TSH and we decide a person is hypothyroid or not. But the production of the gland is mostly T4 and T3. A person may be stressed out and T4 become low. If a person is having insulin resistance, T4 can become low. A person is going through chronic infections, T4 can low. It may not be a pathology always in the gland. It's a systemic response of the thyroid gland to the environment in the body. So if we correct the environment, probably we can reduce the intake of the thyroxine meds and they still have a lot of energy in the body. Well, nutrition plays an important role. Thyroid gland makes the hormone which is T4 and almost 80% of T4 and 20% is T3. It needs enough nutrition, like amino acids, iodine, selenium, B vitamins, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D. These are some of the components the thyroid gland would need to make the hormone. Some cases, you fix the nutrition, we fix the gland output, thereby we help the longevity of that patient. If Hashimoto is there, which is thereby affecting the gland, thereby hypothyroidism is there, we can look at the dysregulators of the immune system, correct the Hashimoto's, help the gland not get into damage, thereby maintain the gland function and thereby maintain the longevity. Sometimes people who are couch potatoes, just like me, if I don't need enough energy, why would my gland make so much thyroid hormone? Sometimes lack of physical activity itself can lead to poor metabolic health, poor mitochondrial health, and consequently you will have a poor T4 production. So just maintaining enough physical activity will improve the mitochondria, improve the thyroid hormone, and consequently serves the longevity purpose. Well, similar to that, chest pain always may not be a blocked artery. It can be at the myocyte level, could be microvascular ischemia, or could also be mitochondrial dysfunction. So we can test some of these nutrients in the body, like CoQ10, carnitine, omega-3. We can look at these parameters, and if anything is missing in the body, if we feed the body with what it needs, thereby mitochondria in the myocytes will perform better and energy production will be better. Thereby consequently we will see we can help them come out of the problem. And these are some of the organic acids testing we can do for a patient to understand the pathology better. Now, gut symptoms are very common. In most conditions you will see anybody with the autoimmune problem, anybody with the hypothyroidism, anybody with a metabolic disorder like diabetes, hypertension, you will realize that a lot of these patients will have GERD as a symptom, IBS as a symptom. So our ancient science always talked about the gut or the digestive health as the primary indicator for overall health. And most of the time, GERD, IBS, SIBO, SIFO, diarrhea, they have common pathologies working at. Again, most of the time, if you look at these patients, for example, somebody with a GERD, the reflux is there. Reflux can be there when SIBO is there. SIBO means the small bacterial intestinal overgrowth. There's a bloating after a meal, thereby increased intra-abdominal pressure, thereby reflux can happen, right? Reflux can also happen when stomach acid is low, okay? So a lot of time, all of these pathologies can contribute to various gut conditions. For example, IBS also, dysbiosis can play a major role. Infections in the gut can play a major role. IBD also we see gut infections could play a major role. Well, we can test a lot of these things and then thereby help the patient get better. Now, once basics are done, let's say we improve the diet, we improve the lifestyle, we improve the microbiome, we improve the basic blood sugars, things like that. Then we can move to longevity sciences, where along with the basics, we can get into peptide sciences, we can get into stem cells to improve the overall repair capabilities of the body. Thereby, we maintain health for a longer period of time. Well, this is a quick summary of what I had to say, and we can pursue. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Garg, for those powerful insights. Your talk sets a strong foundation for our second panel discussion. And now, as we move forward from the sustainability of the systems, we turn to the sustainability of the life itself. If the first conversation was about protecting the world we live in, the next is about enhancing the lives we lead. So to lead this forward-looking conversation, we invite a leader who represents innovation and strategic thinking and a progressive approach to healthcare systems. Mr. Sankalp Gupta Director Dr. Bilal Clinical Lab, is known for his forward vision and commitment to integrating modern approaches with the healthcare advancements. His perspective bridges leadership technology and future oriented health models, making him an ideal voice in discussions that shape the next era of healthcare delivery. He's also recognized as an emerging leader in diagnostics and presently is serving as a co-chair Young Indians Jaipur chapter driving social impact. May I now invite Mr. Sankalp Gupta to kindly join us and take this discussion forward as we explore how predictive, preventive and personalized care can help humanity live longer, healthier lives. A warm round of applause, please.
Thank you so much, Nikunj. A very good evening to everyone. Good evening. Yes. Okay, so the first panel discussion did set a very good context for this coming topic, and it's really my pleasure to welcome everyone in this healthcare conclave. The second discussion today is emerging globally, still I would say under discussed in routine clinical practice in India. A lot of you may have heard the term longevity, but still are confused what does it stand for, and today that is what we're gonna explore. The topic is longevity medicine, increasing health span through predictive, preventive and personalized care. Before I introduce my panelists for today, I would just take a couple of minutes to really let you know why we're having this topic. So we heard Rajiv sir just said approximately 70% of the deaths that are occurring today are due to non-communicable diseases. You know, there was this recent study by ICMR where approximately 10 crore people are today suffering from diabetes. Close to 15 crore people are at pre-diabetic level. Now this total combines, you know, the entire, if you combine entire population of Germany, France and UK, the population, this is more burden that we are carrying as compared to the population of these countries. In India, nearly 25% of the heart attack in men that are occurring are under the age of 40 years. Now, these are figures that really make us think as to is there something that we are not doing right? So, in the last 70, 75 years, India has done a phenomenal job in increasing the lifespan. So, lifespan is, in sense, how long are we living? Approximately, we were at 38 years when we got independent, and today we're standing at a strong 71 or 72 years. But another fact is that last decade and a decade and a half of our population is suffered either due to morbidities, mobility issues, or chronic pains, which is really not a healthy sign because last decade and a half, people are just surviving and not thriving. So there is a conflict, and lifespan is not equal to health span, where the quality of life also matters as compared to just living our life. To discuss how we solve this clinically, I'm joined by a very diverse background today. And the panelists today are from across India. First of all, I would want to welcome Dr. Ashwini Garg. We've already heard him. Dr. Ashwini Garg, who's a co-founder of Functional Medicine Clinic, Bangalore. He's a practicing doctor with core expertise in functional medicine. His expertise spans from longevity, chronic disease reversal, brain health, autism, mitochondrial augmentation, peptides, regenerative medicine, and with a strong focus on root cause based personalized care. Dr. Ashwini, thank you so much for being here, coming all the way from Bangalore. And we've already heard you, and thank you so much for setting out the context right. Please have your seat. Next, we have a very special guest, Dr. Arvind Gupta. He's a senior consultant and head of internal medicine and diabetes at Rajasthan Hospital, Jaipur. An acclaimed physician with multiple prestigious fellowships, including FRCP, Glasgow and Edinburgh, FACE and FACP, a nationally respected leader in diabetes and internal medicine. He has over 115 research publications in top global journals and has honored with numerous national orations and gold medals for his outstanding contribution to clinical care and research. Thank you so much, sir. He's coming just from the airport, especially for this program. Thank you so much, sir. It really means a lot. Next, we have on the panel is Dr. Amol Raut. Dr. Amol is the founder of Air Genomics Private Limited. He's come from Pune and with a PhD in microbiology from Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mumbai. He has a deep expertise in molecular microbiology, diagnostics, and genomics. And he has led multiple R&D and leadership roles across academia and industry, with national and international research publication and prestigious research fellowships from Government of India. Thank you so much, Dr. Amol, for joining us all the way from Pune. And I definitely hope you'll add a very different perspective today to our panel. Last but not the least, we have Dr. Rishabh Bansal. Dr. Rishabh is a consultant and head of department for geriatric medicine at Santokba Dholabji Hospital, Jaipur. He's an MBBS and MD in geriatric medicine from AIIMS Delhi and also the first MD geriatric specialist in Rajasthan. Thank you so much, Dr. Rishabh. So mics are on the table and I hope all of them are working. Yes. So we have a very diverse panel today. Someone who is seeing patients from so many years very conventionally to someone who's had deep expertise now in functional medicine, which is also a very new term to a lot of us here. Someone who's working in the lab, working very widely on genetics, and someone who's a clinician in a new field, which is geriatric medicine, which is also a new upcoming field. So a pleasure to have everyone. And I would just want to start with you, Dr. Amol. Can you help us in defining longevity? I think that is what we should start with, because longevity as a term is being used everywhere, but can you define us well, and then we'll take this conversation now.
Thank you, Mr. Sankalp. So first of all, good evening to all, and my sincere wishes and congratulations to Dr. B. Lal Clinical Laboratory for completing wonderful 35 years. Special credit goes to the entire family who has been working hard behind this, and best wishes to all for the future journey as well. And Mr. Sankalp, thanks for giving me an opportunity to talk on longevity, especially since we are talking about long 35 years of success that we are celebrating. Longevity, and that too coming from me, a person who has got an opportunity to work in lab for 20 years and looking at DNA from different people. So I'll quote it from how a molecular microbiologist like me or a molecular biologist would look at longevity. Longevity for all of us means increased lifespan, a long lifespan, healthy lifespan, disease-free, there are various definitions. But for a common man, and I believe apart from the medical experts over here, we also have people from other fields over here. We all believe that longevity is having a healthy, fine, long life. To quickly also quote, there was a report that mentioned that in 2014-16, India's life expectancy, how long people live, was somewhere on average 70 years. Cut to 40 years back, the data said that the life expectancy was around 50 years. So life expectancy has increased, wonderful things for us. However, 2 years back, ICMR published a report, and that too, it was a study was carried out by Dr. V. Mohan and his group, and it stated that half of the urban population is suffering from dyslipidemia, hypertension, and maybe multiple diseases. I'm sure sir will agree with that. So we have an increased life expectancy with an increased disease burden. Is it something that we are talking about longevity? Is it something that we are aiming at? I think longevity is having a longer life, but a much healthy and disease-free. So this is the objective that everyone wants. And there are various ways and means to achieve it. The esteemed panel over here, of course, is going to throw light from their point of view. However, to sum up from my side, there are simple cellular mechanisms in our body which decide for how long we are going to live. Each cell of our body, and we have millions and trillions of cells, each cell of our body does its own function, but dear audience, that cell starts losing its function by a little bit every day. And that happens because of the stress we have around. We just spoke about sustainability. If the stress is managed well, this loss of life or vigor that we have in each cell can be controlled. So if we are talking about longevity from a molecular point of view, I would certainly want to emphasize that how do we look at longevity? We should not look at longevity as an objective, but as an outcome of eliminating stress. I think this is how I would define longevity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amol. Dr. Ashwini, I would want to come to you in terms of today, the reference ranges that we're using. There was this discussion that we were having just this afternoon, where we were discussing that today there are a lot of reference ranges because the reference ranges are decided in a way, there is always a bias of a sick population. And today when we're looking at not just in diagnosing or detecting a disease, but looking at where our health is, where do you think we're heading in terms of deciding the reference ranges, especially, for example, someone with a 5.6 HbA1c. Now, for a conventional clinician, that may sound okay or not alarming, but for a 30-year-old having a 5.6 HbA1c can be an early indication of something. I would just want to have your view on that as to the reference ranges today, and how do you see that changing in the future?
No, well, today the data we have is mostly from sick people. And most of our society, younger, older, we all are unwell in some ways. So the data is also not the right data. Now, for example, we have to see the data in context to the patient. If somebody with an autoimmune problem, we cannot still say that vitamin D around 30 is an okay thing, because vitamin D from sunlight is also immune modulator. So we have to maintain the vitamin D to 60 to 80, just because the disease is there. So similarly, we have to start collecting data for a younger, healthier, actual healthier populations, and then we would have a better idea what really it means to be healthy. I see younger kids of autism, their OTPTs are high, their ANA is high, their dysbiotic flora, the lead is high. So the reference itself is getting skewed with it. So I'm sure, as we are progressing, we have more funding, we will have better data as well.
Dr. Arvind sir, I would want to take your view on this. You see a lot of patients every day, and I would just want to take your view on the reference ranges today.
Thank you, Sankalp. And at the outset, I thank the Bilal Institute, and I was with Dr. Bilal since the institution started, the day one, I am with Dr. Bilal. Where is he? I think he needs a 3 cheers. Thanks. A person, one person who has started the Bilal Institute, and I am still very much with him and his energy. यदि आप longevity की बात कर रहे हैं, so I think he is one of the example I can give that पूरा काम करते हुए भी now he is so fit today. तो ये longevity का सबसे बड़ा है. So मैं सबको धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि आपने आज बुलाया यहाँ पे. The first important thing what I want to see, जो अभी आप सब लोग बार बार ICMR and DAB study की बात कर रहे हैं. I was one of the author, investigator for Rajasthan, Dr. Rajiv Gupta sab here. Dr. Bilal himself is the co-author, and Dr. Sandeep Srivastav. We did this study in Rajasthan, and this ये मैं इसलिए बता रहा हूँ कि this is one of the studies in one of the largest study in the world, which is quoted highest quotation from the all over the world. This is ICMR and DAB study, and we have recently published in Nature Medicine about this paper. मैं यहाँ इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि why we are talking about the longevity क्या है. हेल्थ के लिए बात करी, डॉक्टर सुदीप्ति ने एक सबसे अच्छी बात कही, मैं वहीं से शुरू कर रहा हूँ. हैप्पी, कि आप हैप्पी कैसे, एंडोर्फिन्स चाहिए हमें. केमिकली वी नीड एंडोर्फिन्स, और वो एंडोर्फिन्स कहाँ से आएंगे? ये इंटरनल हैप्पीनेस से आते हैं. एंड नेचर के साथ रहना पड़ेगा हमें. जैसे अभी बताया इन्होंने ICMR के 11 करोड़ से ज़्यादा डायबिटीज़ पीपल आर ऑलरेडी देयर. इंडिया इज़ वन ऑफ द डायबिटीज़ कैपिटल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. Not only diabetes, but all the non-communicable disease, whether hypertension, whether it is ischemic heart disease, whether it is the cancer, most of the non-communicable disease, we are having a light capital of the world. और क्यों बढ़ रही है ये? So one thing, please, मैं आज take home message दे के जाऊँगा आप सब लोगों को कि nature, we have to go with the nature. डॉक्टर राजीव गुप्ता साहब ने मुझे कुछ दिन पहले इंट्रोड्यूस किया था सर्केडियन रिदम से. आई एम ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्ट ऑफ इंडियन सोसाइटी ऑफ क्रोनो मेडिसिन. जो हम वो वर्क कर रहे हैं कि नेचर के साथ चलना है. इफ यू गो विद द नेचर, व्हाट द नेचर सेज, डे एंड नाइट बनाया है. डे भगवान ने, नेचर हैज क्रिएटेड द डे एंड नाइट. एंड हाउ आवर डे स्टार्टेड इन द मॉर्निंग. यू हैव टू सी द सनलाइट इन द मॉर्निंग. The person who doesn't see sunlight in the morning first, because through the retina, it goes to the suprachiasmic nucleus of the hypothalamus. My medical friends understand this very well. Our brain has hypothalamus, has a suprachiasmic nucleus, which is controlled the central clock. Our brain controls the central clock. And कैसे आता है? Then in the morning around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, when the first time sunlight comes, we see the sunlight, it goes to the hypothalamus and secretes the cortisol. And this cortisol gives us the energy. So whole day they started with the morning. So the person who doesn't see sunlight in the morning, he will never be healthy. Never be healthy. That is first thing. And by the evening, around 6 or 7 o'clock again, when our melatonin secretes. Melatonin is a pigment, natural pigment, secreted by a pineal gland. And what it does, it's sluggish. It causes sluggishness or slowness of most of the metabolic activities. तो हम लोग नेचर के साथ जाना है. मॉर्निंग वी हैव टू, अर्ली मॉर्निंग सर्केडियन रिदम शुरू होती है. इवनिंग मेलाटोनिन सीक्रेट होता है, सो दैट यू आर स्लोली गोइंग टू द स्लीप. इफ हम इस नेचर के साथ नहीं जाएंगे, दैट इज नोन एज सर्केडियन डिसरप्शन. इफ दिस सर्केडियन डिसरप्शन इज देयर, everybody will have all sorts of non-communicable disease, whether it is diabetes, whether it is a heart disease, whether it is any cancer or any other thing. So आज से please, this is my first thing. If you can give one slide here. Any AV team, please, you can show one slide here. If you can show. So my first thing is that you have to go with the nature. That is circadian rhythm के साथ रहना है. In the morning, स्टार्ट इन द मॉर्निंग, जल्दी रुकना है, लेट नाइट नहीं सोना है, हमें जल्दी सोना है, अर्ली फूड लेना है. दैट इज माय फर्स्ट थिंग अबाउट द लॉन्जिविटी. लॉन्जिविटी कैसे होती है, वाई? देर आर, अभी हमारे साइंटिस्ट फ्रेंड्स ने बताया, देर आर टू थिंग्स, ऑटोफेजी एंड माइटोफेजी. ही इज क्लियरली मेंशन्ड. ऑटोफेजी मीन्स हमारी जो जनरल सेल्स होती हैं, दे डाई ग्रेजुअली. एज हमारी कैसे होती है, हाउ आवर एजिंग इज देयर, इट इज बाय द ऑटोफेजी. Gradually our cells die. And second is mitophagy. Our mitochondria also dies slowly and gradually. So this is a nature's thing. Autophagy and mitophagy will go on. हमें क्या चाहिए? We want 90 years or 100 years of age, or we want 60 or 70 years of age, a good quality of life, with good vigor, with good happiness. Dr. Sudipti has clearly told, पहला ही sentence उसने start किया, happiness. So we want this type of longevity कि हमें चाहे कम लाइफ मिले, लेस कोमॉर्बिडिटीज हों. तो जो ये मैंने आपको सामने बता रहा था कि आवर बॉडी इज कंट्रोल्ड बाय पेरिफेरल क्लॉक एंड द सेंट्रल क्लॉक, एंड यू हैव टू गो बाय दिस. एंड इफ यू डोंट गो बाय दिस नेचर, you will all get hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, everything you will get if you will not go with the next slide. And my last thing, this is my last thing, please आज ये लेके जाना, eat less doesn't mean with calories. हमें अपनी adequate calories चाहिए. Eat on time. The Nobel Prize जिनको मिला था अभी 10 years before, he worked on chronomedicine and clearly said, हमारे जैन फ्रेंड्स हैं, बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो अर्ली खाना खाते थे. लेट खाना खाने से क्या होता है, मैंने बोला था कि मेलाटोनिन सीक्रेट होता है, फूड डाइजेस्ट नहीं होगा, इट बिकम्स इन्फ्लेमेटरी साइटोकाइंस, इन्फ्लेमेशन बन जाएगा वो, रादर देन टॉक्सिन्स बन जाएगा, एंड इट विल कॉज मोर एंडोथेलियल डिसफंक्शन. आपकी कॉर्नरी आर्टरीज को ब्लॉक करेगा, आपके सारे प्रॉब्लम करेगा. सो ईट ऑन टाइम, ईट राइट, दैट इज अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जो अभी हमने पॉल्यूशन बोल रहे हैं कि अभी हमारे क्या हो रहा है, हमारे एंडोक्राइन डिसरप्टिव केमिकल्स हैं. ये सिंपल जो प्लास्टिक की बॉटल में पानी पी रहे हैं, व्हाट वी आर ड्रिंकिंग, वी आर ड्रिंकिंग, सुदीप्ति, बिस्फेनाइल ए. दैट इज a chemical we are, if this bottle is kept half an hour under the sun, what it becomes? It becomes bisphenol A chemical, and that is very dangerous. It causes diabetes, it causes heart disease, so many diseases it causes. Not only this, room fresheners, PF, perfluoroalkyl chemicals, they are very pesticides. अभी कुशाग्र ने बताया था कि हम पेस्टिसाइड्स ले रहे हैं. सो दीज एंडोक्राइन डिसरप्टिव केमिकल्स ये हमारी लॉन्जिविटी को कम कर रहे हैं, कोमॉर्बिडिटीज बढ़ा रहा है. सो दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. ईट राइट, जो राइट फूड, हमें बैलेंस फूड लेना है. हमारी एक स्टडी में बताई कि हमारा पूरा इंडिया, ऑल इंडिया ईटिंग कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स, 70 to 80% वी आर ईटिंग कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स, 20% 30% के आसपास fat. We are not taking proteins. All over the world, all over the country, we are not eating proteins. We have to eat the proteins. We have to eat the fruits, vegetables. यदि हमें अपनी longevity बढ़ानी है तो fruits and vegetables are the one of BMJ में publish हुआ 20 years study. It says that a person who eats fresh vegetables and fruit a day has less cardiovascular disease, less diabetes. Then walk more. What is walking does? Simple, आपको 30 minutes walk in a day can give you the endorphins, जो हमें happiness hormones. You can never get happiness hormones by any Mercedes or BMW or air conditioner or the best of the environment. No, you will get happiness and endorphins only by 30 minutes to 45 minutes walk a day. And then sleep. Sleep is the most important thing. I have just given you the clocks. If you are sleeping less than 6 hours, you will definitely get all sorts of diabetes, hypertension, and all sorts of diseases if you are sleeping less than 6 hours in a day, in a night. And that too is a good sleep, not a fragmented sleep. नहीं चाहिए. We want a solid sleep. तो रात को आप सोते समय अपने टेंशन्स और स्ट्रेस को हटा दीजिए एंड ऑन टाइम एंड लास्ट इज द what Sudipti started, I will end from here, the smile. आप प्लीज एक बार स्माइल करिए so that आज का दिन सफल हो जाएगा. And I will end with my father's sorry. आज का दिन इतना अच्छा है, मैं एंड करूंगा आज लॉन्गिविटी के लिए कि सुंदर से नित सुंदरतर. आप कवि की भावना देखिए, मेरे पिताजी की कविता है. सुंदर से नित सुंदरतर और सुंदरतर से सुंदरतम और सुंदर जीवन का क्रम हो और सुंदर सुंदर हो जीवन. मन के मधुमय आंगन में, मन के मधुमय आंगन में बरसों अविरल सुख के घन जीवन हो सरसिज करने और बरसों सुखवां के श्रावण. थैंक यू, धन्यवाद.
थैंक यू सो मच सर. आपने बहुत सारी बातें, आई थिंक यहाँ पे डॉक्टर्स तो हैं ही, पर साथ के साथ कुछ जनरल लोग भी हैं. अ लॉट ऑफ गुड एडवाइस दैट यू हैव गिवन. डॉक्टर ऋषभ, आई वुड कम टू यू फॉर माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. अरविंद सर ने भी कुछ बातें बोली जहाँ पर टिपिकली आप उस फील्ड में हैं जहाँ पे जब सब कुछ एक स्टेज पे आ जाता है, when people are 60-70, they're suffering from some problems, you're typically seeing the end. What would be your advice if they would have come to you, say 20 years, 25 years back? वो same problems, for example, sarcopenia, frailty, all of these are common challenges with our senior citizens today. What would be your advice to them?
See, my advice will be that there are few things which are better if they are prevented rather than treated. So अगर कोई इंसान मान लो 40 या 50 या 60 बिल्कुल अर्ली स्टेज में अपने पास आता है, तो जो मेन अपन हेल्दी एजिंग के जो मंत्र है जो अभी सर ने बताए, वो सारी चीज़ है कि यू शुड हैव अ गुड न्यूट्रिशन, जिसमें वेजिटेबल्स आपको ज़्यादा लेने हैं, प्रोटीन का कम अमाउंट ज़्यादा लेना है, एक्सरसाइज आपको रेगुलर करना है, 30 मिनट वॉक करना है आपको. उसके अलावा जैसे सार्कोपीनिया को प्रिवेंट करने के लिए वी हैव आइसोमेट्रिक एक्सरसाइज, कि आपने 1 किलो का डंबल लिया, या आप जैसे कोई वेजिटेबल्स अगर मार्केट से लेके आ रहे हो, तो उससे भी अगर आपने 5 या 10 बार डंबल कर लिया, तो वो आपके मसल मास को लॉस होने से बचाएगा. साथ में आपने कुछ बैलेंस की एक्सरसाइजेस की, जैसे आप एक पैर पे खड़े होकर दीवार के सामने खड़े हो गए, तो उससे क्या होता है कि आपके जो पैर का बैलेंस है या मसल का पावर है वो बढ़ जाता है. साथ में अगर कोई टाइम के रहते अपन वैक्सीनेशंस कर दें, एक तो ये है कि आपको ऑलरेडी निमोनिया हो गया तब आप उसको ट्रीट करो, एक है कि अपन ने उससे पहले ही उसकी वैक्सीन कर ली, या एक हर्पीज़ बूस्टर, अगर किसी को हर्पीज़ की बीमारी हुई है तो एक तो आपको हर्पीज़ हो गया तो आपको उसका पेन या सब कुछ झेलना पड़ेगा. वही अगर आपने टाइमली रहते हुए जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि वैक्सीन करा लिया, तो प्रिवेंशन में हम लोग न्यूट्रिशन और एक्सरसाइज तो हम लोग काफ़ी बात करते हैं. उसके अलावा वैक्सीनेशन है, रूटीन हेल्थ चेकअप्स हैं जो आप अपने लेवल पे करा सकते हैं कि आपने बीमारी को होने से पहले बचा लिया, या कुछ फॉल प्रिवेंशंस के बेसिक टिप्स हैं कि जैसे आपने ग्रैब बार्स अपने लगा लिए, जैसे जैसे एज बढ़ रही है इससे पहले कि आप गिर जाएं या फ्रैक्चर हो जाए, क्यों ना अपन पहले से इस प्रिकॉशंस को रखें कि हमने अपने बाथरूम में ग्रैब बार्स लगा लिया, या स्लिपरी टाइल्स हैं तो अपन ने एंटी स्किड मैट्रेस लगा दी. आजकल ट्रेंड हो गया है कि अपन छोटे छोटे बेड रखते हैं, लो हाइट के बेड, लेकिन एक्चुअल में जो अगर एज के साथ लो हाइट के बेड से उठना और उस पर बैठना दोनों ही मुश्किल है, जिस वजह से गिर सकते हैं. तो अगर अपने उस बेड की हाइट बढ़ा दी, या नाइट लैंप अपन ने अपने पास रखा ताकि रात में कभी वॉशरूम जा रहे हैं तो अपन गिर ना जाए, या फॉर देट मैटर कि अपन सालों से नींद की गोली ले रहे हैं और 70 साल या 75 साल की एज में अपन को मेमोरी लॉस हो, तो क्यों ना अपन 50 की एज में ये सोच लें कि हमें नींद की गोली नहीं लेनी. अगर अपन 20 साल से पेन किलर ले रहे हैं और किडनी खराब हो गई, उसकी जगह अगर वो पेशेंट मुझे पहले ही दिन मिल जाए तो मैं कह दूं कि भाई पेन किलर मत लो, फिजियोथेरेपी करो. तो ये जो प्रिकॉशंस है, जो प्रिवेंशंस है, मेरे ख्याल से अगर कोई टाइमली आए तो मेन थिंग इज प्रिवेंशन, विच इंक्लूड डाइट, एक्सरसाइज, वैक्सीनेशन, fall prevention, reducing medicines, and avoiding bad habits like smoking and drinking. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would want to move to diagnosis now. एंड डायग्नोसिस में बड़ी सारी नीचे लेटेस्ट अपडेट्स आ रही हैं, बहुत सारी नई टेक्निक्स टेक्नोलॉजीज, एंड आई वुड वांट टू स्टार्ट विद डॉक्टर अमोल हु रियली स्पेशलाइजेस इन जीनोमिक्स. सो टिपिकली वी नो जहाँ पे जीन स्पेसिफिक टारगेटिंग होती है जैसे BRCA1 BRCA2, वहाँ पे काफ़ी कुछ स्टैब्लिश्ड हैं चीज़ें कि यहाँ पर रिस्क है. लेकिन नाउ व्हाट वी आर सीइंग इज जो यू नो पॉलीजेनिक रिस्क कोड्स आ रहे हैं, खास जहाँ पर प्रोबेबिलिटी के बेसिस पे यू आर एबल टू डायग्नोस और आई वुड से प्रिडिक्ट, नॉट डायग्नोस, द आउटकम्स ऑफ समवंस हेल्थ. डू यू थिंक कि वो इफेक्टिव हैं, और इज इट जस्ट मे बी some skeptics say that it may also cause anxiety in people if they know कि उनको कुछ होने वाला है या their genes are indicating something of that sort.
So Mr. Sankalp, I think this is very important because diagnostics, as we all know over here, that diagnostics are done with the objective to get more insight into an individual's body. And diagnostics always help. The simple rule for any diagnostic is it should be verified, it should be evidence based, and there are certain rules for diagnostic. As an organization in diagnostic, you are also aware that the NNT, the number needed to be tested, should be verified. Now tests like Alzheimer's, BRCA, which are done for Alzheimer or breast cancer respectively, it is reported that such testing, after it was introduced, it has increased the survival rate. So early diagnostics definitely help, and that is what Dr. Rishabh was also mentioning. Prevention happens when you get an insight into it. However, amongst the audience, apart from the medical experts, the other people also would have heard that these days DNA is being used for diagnostics. Like Sir had mentioned that chronology, chronotype, biological clock, circadian rhythm. Nowadays, there are genomic tests, genetic tests that are done to find out your biological clock, whether the melatonin secretion will happen delayed or early, depending upon that whether a person has a tendency to sleep late or wake up late. And this is being used to find people who really have ability to work late or not. So when it comes to understanding diagnosis, it is being useful multiple places. I will also give some example. There was a study I think I was discussing today also. I was a part of a Ministry of Ayush sponsored research project where we were working on how yoga improves our health, how whether it really reduces as a control on type 2 diabetes. And when this study was done, we found that after following yoga, some individual for a period versus those who didn't follow, some of the stress markers in people reduced because they were following yoga. Why? The simple mechanism is the inflammatory genes which could be quickly triggered were pacified. This is evident from diagnosis. Now, the established diagnosis that we have today, HbA1c, LDL, BRCA, Alzheimer, all of this, apart from that, the genomics world and the multiomics world, as we know, is introducing some more tools for a better insight into people. All of them are not verified, all of them are not evidence based, but many of them are clearly based on studies that have been done. So my urge to the entire audience or to the world, because we have been in this field for a long time, seeing research as well as application both, is to have an open mind. In India today, many doctors, clinical organizations have started adopting genomic tests for not just disease diagnosis, prediction, prevention. And as you rightly mentioned, does it cause anxiety? When the communication is right, there is no anxiety. Early intimation, making people aware is definitely going to help. So I think this is my take on the use of genomics.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ashwini, I would want your view, considering now, do you think, apart from these conventional biomarkers that we're doing in the world of multiomics, what are those advanced diagnostic technologies that are available that are really successful within the clinic as well?
Right. So, well, if we take an example of diabetes, blood sugar is rising because mitochondria is not doing okay. The first thing happens is mitochondria is losing function. Then resistance of insulin builds up. then blood sugar builds up. Then diabetes, HbA1c glycation comes up. So if we do uh, metabolomics, for example, we look at the pyruvate, lactate, which is a marker of mitochondria. If that is rising up, before even insulin resistance build up, we know diabetes is coming up. Even the disease comes up, we can prevent it. So now what is causing the damage to the mitochondria is the more important thing. If there's a problem, what do we do? Now, one of the reasons for insulin resistance is lipopolysaccharides produced by the gut microbiome, which is dysbiotic. If we do a microbiome testing, we understand which microbes are dysbiotic, and we clean them out, we reduce the toxic burden on the body and the mitochondria, thereby prevent the mitochondrial damage itself. So thereby, today we have enough technologies, data around this, what to be tested and what can be done to prevent it. Pretty much it's there.
Right. Arvind sir, wanted to take your view on when the patient comes and their HbA1c or blood sugar is high, typically you're already late. Are there any tools that are available for diagnosing such chronic disorders early?
I think this is a very good question, and even my medical friends and the other friends, they will agree with me that we need two diagnostics. The routine diagnostics are very, very important, whether you have disease or no disease. Routine diagnostics, you have to go with the preventive checkups. That is very, very important. No anxiety, nothing else. Most of the people हमें आके बोलते हैं कि this may be a gimmick. The doctors are going for the gimmicks that they are doing the preventive health checkups. I am telling you, in certain preventive health checkups, we get early thyroid disease, early diabetes disease. Even during the camps, we get the early things. And if we catch up early disease, I think that is very, very good, not for the patient's point of view, but from the society and family point of view also, that if you catch the early disease, you can reduce the complications in the patient. That is first thing. And what about these people that are doing, Dr. Amol, Dr. Ashwini, and all other advanced diagnostics, not only the genomics, not only the biomics, and all things they are doing, and that is very, very advanced genomics and advanced biomics and omics. They are important. And probably next, एक पहले वाले session में आ रहा था कि next 10 years में what you are seeing in the next 10 years of the diagnosis, I think Dr. Amol's and Dr. Ashwini's role will be definitely there. We will catch early genomics and early diseases so early, and certain biomarkers are still available. I think so many biomarkers are available, and you can go with those biomarkers, and you can even think of prediction of diseases later on. So even the preventive mantra comes, वो तो बाद में भी आएगा, अभी भी आएगा preventive mantra, but you have to go with the routine diagnostics as well as the advanced diagnostics. That is very much important. And I think from the geriatric point of view, again, Rishabh will give us a good insight about that. But I think from our point of view as a doctor, I think Dr. Rakesh and so many people are here, and they will Vishal, all are here, and they will agree with me that preventive health checkups are still very, very relevant in our society.
Thank you so much, and I would want to position a same question to Dr. Rishabh, especially when you're seeing individuals. I'm sure you're also seeing healthy senior citizens. What are those diagnostic tools where you can assess or which can help you to assess the disease before it comes?
Yes. There's a term called frailty. Frailty is basically when your all the body organs reserves have decreased, which have made you more susceptible to any stress that can lead to increased morbidity, mortality, fall, or hospitalization. So from geriatric point of view, our main focus is whether those biomarkers or those clinical criteria are able to diagnose or detect frailty or sarcopenia. So there are few clinical ways to detect these things, like if you are losing weight, unintentional weight, or if your walking speed is decreasing, or if you feel fatigue, you feel exhausted, you have low physical activities. So these are all like a clinical biomarker, not biomarker, but a clinical questionnaire which we can routinely ask any of our patient in even in a PSC level or in a village, which can help in detecting frailty or sarcopenia. Other than these there are certain advanced biomarkers. For example, there's a role of DEXA scan which can assess our muscle mass, whether we are losing muscles or not. We have a simple way like grip strength. We use some dynamometer, hand dynamometer. We grip it so we can know whether our muscle power is decreasing or not. And based on our Indian cutoff, we can say whether we have sarcopenia or not. And there's a few tests like tug score where we simply walk for 6 seconds, then we get back. So that these are the ways of diagnosing basically clinically and through tests like DEXA scan. Other than that, there are few biological markers like inflammatory markers like CRP, interleukins, those are increased with frailty. Sirtuins level, there was a study which was done in AIIMS New Delhi which showed that low level of sirtuins was associated with increased risk of frailty. There are other biological markers also like hormone levels like testosterone level are low, vitamin D level are low. So there are multiple biological markers. The main issue is we still need to have a proper cutoff for our Indian range and to have a clinical significance of diagnosing those conditions. So maybe in future, those biological markers will be very useful when we have a proper treatment based on those markers.
Thank you so much. I think you put out another perspective on importance of functional tests like grip strength. I think these are also very, very important in assessing someone's health. We'll just come to a final leg. We're running short of time, but I would want to have closing comments on interventions. Specifically, I'll just have your thoughts, Dr. Rishabh. When someone comes to you with problem like sarcopenia, low grip strength, all of these problems, what is your intervention? Do you go for supplementations? Do you go for lifestyle medicine? We would want to hear about what are those things that you do in interventions.
In such case, the first part is to rule out any secondary cause. For example, if patient has vitamin D deficiency, we will treat those. If patient is using some steroids or some medication which is enhancing sarcopenia, we need to remove those conditions. Other than that, a main part is nutrition. In sarcopenia, there have been multiple medicines which have been tried. Growth hormone have been tried. IGF supplements have been tried. Testosterone injections have been tried. And there was a trend when we used to give anabolic steroid to elderly sarcopenic patients like Decaderon. But all those treatment, they have been useless in the greater meta-analysis. The only most important proven part in sarcopenia is nutrition, where you increase your protein content. The protein supplementation or increasing protein diet, it has shown a role in preventing sarcopenia, especially HMB component of the protein. It has shown to improve sarcopenia. Vitamin D in vitamin D deficient patient has shown to improve sarcopenia. The isometric exercise, which I was just talking about, that you should have a 1 kg dumbbell and use that to enhance your muscle mass.
Yes.
It has shown role in treating sarcopenia. And there's one new medicine which is a myostatin inhibitor. It has shown improvement in clinical trials. Phase 2 trials have been done on the humans. And it has shown that it will improve muscle mass. But maybe in upcoming 5 or 10 years, we will have some medicine which have a role in increasing muscle mass soon.
Right. Thank you so much. So I would just want to ask to the three of you one common question, that clinical practices is evolving. We're seeing role of lifestyle medicine as a very, very important component now. Now the fact is the doctors today or the caregivers, the primary caregivers are not completely ready for or trained for that. I would just want to have your view in the next 3-5 years. Do you see our clinicians prescribing on their pad, maybe zone 2 exercise, this supplement or this protein or something more specific, as compared to just saying that do exercise or do nutrition. आज जाते हैं डॉक्टर के पास, वो कहते हैं कि आप एक्सरसाइज कर लो, बस इतना ही सुनने को मिलता है. But we need to have experts on that to help us know. So I would just want to have some closing remarks on that. Dr. Arvind.
Just my closing remarks here are the awareness, health awareness. We should start with our children, youngsters. जो लोग रात को लेट सोते हैं, their lifestyle is totally spoiled. I want to specifically counsel and have the awareness among the children and the young adults and the adolescents. That is very, very important. And not only that, mothers are really important as far as the health awareness is concerned. So mothers, sir, Chaturvedi sir अभी यहाँ हैं, और आप गवर्नमेंट के थ्रू भी हम देखते हैं कि these are the areas जहाँ पे हमें बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्थ अवेयरनेस की ज़रूरत है, बच्चों में, यंग एडोलेसेंस में और मदर्स में. यदि हमने, और स्कूल चिल्ड्रन, यदि हमने इन 3-4 को कर लिया तो हम सोसाइटी में बहुत सारी डिजीजेस प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं. सो माय क्लोजिंग हियर इज हेल्थ अवेयरनेस इन द सोसाइटी एंड स्पेशली इन दिस चिल्ड्रन. डिजिटल डिटॉक्स मैं बताना भूल गया. डिजिटल 2 hours, अभी रिसेंट स्टडी है सजेस्टेड 2 hours digital detox can reduce your heart disease, diabetes and most of the disease by 46%. Only 2 hours digital detox in a day. आप मोबाइल को 2 घंटे आप दूर करके देखिए, आपको बहुत सारी डिजीज कम हो जाएंगी. सो हेल्थ अवेयरनेस इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग. यदि अवेयरनेस हमने कर दी, अपने आदमी में अंदर आ गया कि मुझे ये करना है, गुड ईटिंग, गुड थिंग्स, I think this is my take-home message and closing remarks.
Thank you. Your closing remarks.
Yes. Well, I think awareness is increasing. There is ChatGPT now, Google is there. Patients are becoming more demanding. It's no more that I can do a 2-minute prescription. They come with a lot of data, they come with a lot of expectation, they come with a lot of queries. So as clinicians, we have to upgrade ourselves, we have to come up with the demand of the patient. And I'm sure thereby we have to write lifestyle, we have to write exercise, we have to use medication, we have to use supplementation, because disease is complex and we have to increase our toolkit to help them. And of course, demand is there. It's economy driven. As there is demand, we all has to come up to it.
Dr. Amol.
Yeah, yes. So I would completely agree with the opinion that the other panelists also would have. Lifestyle disease management and prevention, it's no brainer that lifestyle advice is important and awareness will help. And as Dr. Ashwini has also mentioned, that patients have become demanding, no doubt. All the doctors are naturally equipped for providing basic lifestyle advice. Fortunately, ICMR has given basic diet guidelines for multiple diseases. They are available on the ICMR, many NIN and such websites. So such basic guidelines are there which could be useful for doctors, so they also don't have to spend too much of time and effort in explaining to the patient. And please believe me, 17-18 years what we have seen, even 70-80% of diet adherence will help in resolving multiple health issues. Besides, organizations like Dr. B. Lal Clinical Lab also can take such initiatives of making such diet advices and tips more and more available to the doctors and this thing. I think this is how we all together will be able to make that awareness, but it's no brainer that we will have to follow that and that will be required. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. And we'll just conclude our panel for today here. It's very, very clear that the future of healthcare is not just about saving lives. It's about making those lives worth living. Please join me in thanking our incredible panel, Dr. Garg, Dr. Bansal, Dr. Gupta, Dr. Rao. Thank you so much for joining us and discussing this pertinent topic today. We'll just...
Thank you so much, Mr. Sankalp Gupta and the esteemed panelists for this insightful discussion. Taking it forward, may I request our dignitaries to kindly come forward as we felicitate them. So it's my privilege to invite Dr. Ashwini Garg for the felicitation. May I request Dr. Sandeep Srivastav, Senior Consultant and Executive Director, CIRD Head, COE Molecular Genomics, to kindly felicitate him. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Arvind Gupta to please join us on stage. To felicitate him, I request Mr. Dharmendra Bansal, General Manager, Customer Success. Can we hear some huge round of applause? May I now request Dr. Amol Roth for the felicitation. I invite Mr. Rajiv Bambani, Strategy Consultant, Business Growth and Strategic Alliances, to please do the honors. I now invite Dr. Rishabh Bansal to come forward for the felicitation. May I request Mr. Vivek Kumar, Deputy General Manager, Central Laboratory, to kindly felicitate him. And finally, I would like to invite Mr. Sankal Gupta, sir, for the felicitation. I request Mr. Subhash Yadav, Assistant General Manager, Customer Success, to please join us on stage for the felicitation. All right. So thank you to all our panelists for sharing the wisdom and helping us collectively advance the dialogue on modern healthcare. With this, we can have a group photograph, sir. All right then. So ladies and gentlemen, some moments are not just announcements. And so as we come to close this memorable and meaningful evening, it's time to express the gratitude, the foundation on which every lasting journey stands. Today, as we celebrate excellence, innovation, and shared legacy, it is only fitting that we hear from our visionary who laid the very foundation of this journey. It's a profound honor for me to introduce a pioneer who transformed the landscape of diagnostics in Rajasthan and beyond. Our own Dr. Bilal Gupta sir, founder and chairman of Dr. Bilal Clinical Laboratory. Born in Bharatpur and academically nurtured at SMS Medical College, Jaipur, Dr. Gupta specialized in microbiology and further strengthened his scientific grounding at AIMS New Delhi, where his years of senior residency shaped the rigor and discipline that define his work even today. In 1991, guided by a deep sense of responsibility towards society, Dr. Gupta returned to Jaipur with a singular mission to build diagnostic services that doctors could trust and patients could rely on. What began as the modest specialized laboratory soon became a movement, introducing several firsts in Rajasthan, from advanced microbiology to PCR to automation, quality certifications, and critical public health contributions, including being the first private lab approved by ICMR for COVID testing in Jaipur. Today, the institution touches nearly 1 million lives and processes over 30 lakh tests annually. But more than scale or technology, what truly defines Dr. Gupta's legacy is his unwavering belief that diagnostic is a service to society, not merely a business. Guided by the value of humanity, service, quality, and cooperation, he has built not just a laboratory, but a culture. His contribution extends far beyond diagnostics. Through the Dr. Bilal Institute of Biotechnology, he has empowered generations of young professionals, fostering education, research, and skill development. His journey has been recognized through numerous honors, including Lifetime Achievement Award in Diagnostics, yet his lifelong motto remains simple and powerful, that is, serve best, serve all. Ladies and gentlemen, a pioneer, visionary, and an enduring inspiration to the healthcare fraternity. I request you to please put your hands together and welcome Dr. Bilal Gupta, sir, to the stage for his address. Sir, please.
नमस्कार। इतने लंबे सेशन के बाद मेरे को नहीं लगता कि कुछ बोलना चाहिए। 8 बजने वाले हैं और सही मायने में तो ये आप सब लोगों के साथ सेलिब्रेशन का दिन था। इस तरीके का कोई एकेडमिक एक्टिविटीज़ का कोई ऐसा प्लान नहीं था। मैंने सोचा था कि ये 20% ऐड कर दिया जाए तो आप सब लोगों का जो आने का जो पर्पज है वो शायद थोड़ा सा एनहांस हो जाएगा। मैं सिर्फ ये बात इसलिए कह रहा हूँ कि अभी आज के फंक्शन का सिर्फ 20% पार्ट ही पूरा हुआ है। 80% समय हमें बाहर सेलिब्रेशन के लिए, एक दूसरे से मिलने के लिए ये समय देना जरूरी है। आप आराम से बाहर बैठेंगे, एक दूसरे से मिलेंगे, ये मेरी आपसे उम्मीद है। आज 35 वर्ष पूरे हुए हैं। नो डाउट मेरे को भी नहीं लगता कि 35 साल कैसे निकल गया है। मेरे को भी, मेरे कुछ साथी लोग, दोस्त लोग, परिवार के लोग, कुछ मेरे मेंटर 35 साल पहले 12 जनवरी 1991 को भी मेरे साथ थे और मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि काफी लोग आज भी मेरे साथ हैं। मैं समझता हूं, मैं अपने आप को भाग्यशाली मानता हूं जो पिछले करीब 50 साल से जयपुर में आने के बाद हम 1976 बैच के लोगों से जुड़े और आज उनमें से काफी दोस्त मेरे साथ हैं। अब दोस्तों को तो मैं क्या धन्यवाद दूं। दोस्तों के लिए जरूर कहूंगा कि दोस्तों ने हमेशा मेरा हौसला बढ़ाया है, हमेशा मुझे मोटिवेट किया है और दोस्तों की जो एनर्जी होती है, पर्टिकुलरली जो क्लास फेलोज होते हैं, उनकी एनर्जी जीवन भर आपको आगे काम करने के लिए प्रेरित करती रहती है। सबसे पहले तो मैं उन दोस्तों को याद करना चाहूँगा। और इस सफ़र में एक बहुत बड़ा कारवां मेरे साथ जुड़ा। मैं बहुत जगह लोगों से जुड़ा, मरीजों से लेके, वेंडर से लेके, समाज के डिफरेंट लोगों से मिला। समाज के, मैं कहूँगा कि बहुत सारी जो अच्छे लोग हैं उन सब से मैं मिला और अच्छी बात यह है कि आज भी उन सभी लोगों से मैं जुड़ा हुआ हूँ। और धीरे धीरे जुड़ते जुड़ते, अब मैं सबका नाम तो नहीं ले सकता, मैं ये कहूँगा कि हमारा G9 ग्रुप, G10 ग्रुप, KC क्लब ग्रुप, समाज के बहुत सारे ग्रुप हमारे साथ जुड़े, जो मुझे जिंदा बनाए रखते हैं, मेरी एनर्जी को आगे बढ़ाए रखते हैं। और मुझे आज भी लगता है कि ऐसा कोई रीजन नहीं है कि मुझे काम नहीं करना चाहिए। कभी कभी लोग मेरी एज पूछ लेते हैं, पर मेरे को लगता है कि मेरी एज जब से लैब शुरू हुई है, मैं ये मान लेता हूँ 35 ईयर्स है, तो 15 साल तो मुझे और काम करना ही चाहिए। मैं आज बड़ा अभिभूत हूँ आप सब लोगों को देखकर, मेरा एनर्जी लेवल और बढ़ गया है। डॉक्टर बी लाल क्लिनिकल लेबोरेटरी की स्थापना 91 में हुई थी और 2008 में बी लाल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ बायोटेक्नोलॉजी का विचार आया और वो शुरू किया, और उसके बाद 2021 में एक फॉर्मल समाज को देने के लिए प्राकृत संस्थान का भी शुरुआत की गई। परिवार के सभी लोग जुड़े, दोनों बेटे, उन्होंने इन कामों को संभाला, अपनी इच्छा जताई। मैं भी भाग्यशाली मानता हूं आज के ज़माने में, और दोनों बहुएं भी इस कार्य में जुड़ी, और पत्नी का सहयोग हमेशा साथ रहा परिवार को सिंबल देने के लिए। नो डाउट पोते पोती वो छोटे हैं, कभी कभी उनको भी सफ़र होना पड़ता है, तो मैं उनका सहयोग देना भी कभी ये नहीं भूल सकता कि उनको हम कभी कभी चोट पहुंचाते हैं, उनको उतना समय नहीं दे पाते हैं, लेकिन समाज के काम के लिए ये परिवार हमेशा जुड़ा हुआ है। और मेरी ऐसी उम्मीद है कि जिस मकसद से हम समाज में काम करना चाहते हैं, हमारे बच्चे, ये सेकंड जनरेशन भी उसी आस्था के साथ, उन्हीं वैल्यूज़ के साथ इस काम को आगे बढ़ाएगी, निश्चित रूप से आगे बढ़ाएगी। एक चीज़ जो अभी पिछले सप्ताह ही हम लोगों ने, आज हम दिखाना तो चाह रहे थे, थोड़ा समय कम था, कि एक नया डेवलपमेंट हमने हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में किया है, इस इंस्टीट्यूट में किया है, कि जितनी भी हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, चाहे लेबोरेटरी है, इंस्टीट्यूट है और प्राकृत है, इसको हमने एक ग्रुप के अंडर में ले लिया है। उस ग्रुप का नाम हमने दिया है DVCL ग्रुप। DVCL एक हमारा कंपनी का, हमारा ग्रुप का नाम होगा, और इसका ओरिजिन भी बेसिकली पेरेंटल कंपनी डॉक्टर बी लाल क्लिनिकल लेबोरेटरी से किया है, पर अब DVCL एक ग्रुप का लोगो होगा, लेबोरेटरी का लोगो अलग है। और ये भी तय किया है कि समाज के काम के लिए हेल्थ केयर, एजुकेशन, एनवायरनमेंट, और इसके अलावा भी इस ग्रुप में जहाँ जहाँ जरूरत पड़ेगी समाज के कामों के लिए, हम और भी संस्थाएं डेवलप करेंगे। हम यहाँ रुकेंगे नहीं, और भी संस्थाएं डेवलप करेंगे, और जहाँ भी जरूरत होगी लोगों की, जहाँ हमको लगे कि जिस क्षेत्र में नीड है, निश्चित रूप से हम सोचेंगे। आप सबका हौसला जिस तरीके से जीवन में मिला है, ये हौसला लगातार हमें मिलता रहेगा। तो दोस्तों के साथ, आप सब लोगों के साथ, मेरे को लगता है 15-20 साल हम कुछ और नए काम कर पाएंगे और समाज को दे पाएंगे। क्योंकि मैं अपने माता पिता को नहीं भूलना चाहूँगा, जिन्होंने मेरे को ये शिक्षा दी कि अपने लिए नहीं जीना है, और उनको मैंने देखा है, वो अपने लिए नहीं जिए। कहीं ना कहीं जब भी जरूरत पड़ी, अपनी चीज को त्याग के उन्होंने समाज के लिए या जरूरतमंद के लिए बहुत कुछ किया। और मैंने नहीं देखा, मैंने फादर को कभी ना करते हुए किसी को देखा हो। बचपन से मैंने उनको देखा, सीखा। कहीं ना कहीं उनका आशीर्वाद आज भी मेरे साथ है। मैं उनको भी आज के दिन याद करना चाहूँगा। आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपने मेरे को सुना, आप आए। बहुत सारे दोस्त लोग संडे के दिन अपनी कमिटमेंट्स को छोड़ के भी आज मेरे साथ आए हैं, मैं उनका शुक्रगुजार हूँ। भाई साहब राजदीप भक्त जी, चतुर्वेदी भाई साहब, हमारे भाई साहब अजय लामा जी, और भी बहुत सारे लोग समय निकाल के, जो कि बहुत व्यस्त रहते हैं, शुभकामनाएं देने आए, आशीर्वाद देने आए। और क्यों ना आए, मेरे को लगता है कि साथ भी हम लोगों का बचपन का है, हम लोगों ने बचपन में भी बहुत साथ काम किया है। पर ये बड़ी खुशी होती है कि लगातार 50 साल से ये मेरे अंदर लगातार ऊर्जा भर रहे हैं। मैं आप सबको बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ। धन्यवाद। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you so much, Dr. Bilal Gupta, sir. I think it's the time to close the session, but before that, जो भी हमारे साथ इस 35 साल की जर्नी से साथ में जुड़े हुए हैं और जिन्हें भी इस 35 साल की जर्नी में डॉक्टर बीलाल सर को या डॉक्टर बीलाल ग्रुप को अपने विशेस कन्वे करने हैं, सो हम माइक फ्लोट करेंगे एंड वी कैन हियर सम विशेस फ्रॉम द गेस्ट ऑल्सो जो यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं. तो कैन वी हैव सम विशेस एंड सो गाइज आप लोग माइक.
हेलो.
जय श्री कृष्णा टू ऑल ऑफ यू. आज मैं ये प्रिविलेज लेना चाहूँगी. जब हमें रिश्ते अपने माता पिता से मिलते हैं तो हम उनके उम्र भर के लिए ऋणी हो जाते हैं, और जब बहुत सुंदर रिश्तों से हमें ईश्वर जोड़ते हैं, ईश्वर चुनते हैं, उन रिश्तों का कोई बखान नहीं हो सकता. ऐसा ही एक सुंदर रिश्ता हमारे ताऊजी स्वर्गीय श्री ब्रिजमोहन जी खंडेलवाल ने सन 1984 में रखा था. और मैं हमेशा एक बड़ी बहन के लिए तरसती थी, और मुझे सुनीता दीदी के रूप में बड़ी बहन मिली, और उन्हीं के साथ में मिले हमारे सबसे प्यारे बन्नू जिया जी, जिनका नाम बनवारी लाल गुप्ता है, और आप सब उन्हें डॉक्टर बी लाल के नाम से जानते हैं. जिया जी जब जयपुर शिफ्ट हुए 1991 में, हमने जब पहला लैब इनॉग्रेट किया था, मुझे आज तक उसकी यादें ताज़ा हैं. और हम इतने एक्साइटेड थे उस लैब के इनॉग्रेशन के लिए कि पूरे दिन दौड़ भाग करके हमने वो सक्सेसफुल ओपनिंग की थी. और तब से लेके आज तक जो 35 इयर्स की जर्नी है, उसमें जिया जी ने अकेले ही नहीं, दीदी ने और हमारे प्यारे बच्चों ने हमें बहुत कुछ सिखाया है. जिया जी का हमेशा एक ही फंडा होता था, लाइफ में कभी हार नहीं माननी. यू कैन डू इट. यस अलका, यू कैन डू इट. और मुझे ही नहीं, मेरे छोटे भाई को, मेरे मम्मी पापा और मेरे बच्चों को, भाई के बच्चों को भी हमेशा यही प्रेरित किया कि तुम कर सकते हो. और दोनों बच्चों ने भी हमें, संकल्प और सक्षम ने भी हमें यही कहा, यस मौसी वी कैन डू इट. और दीदी तो हमें हमेशा यही कहती थी, कोई बात नहीं, क्या प्रॉब्लम है बताओ मुझे, जिया जी से बात करती हूँ अभी मैं. और वो उसी पल हमारी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाती थी. और साथ में जब हमारी प्यारी प्यारी दो बेटियाँ जुड़ी, सुदीप्ति जब आई, तो सुदीप्ति ने हमको आज तक ये सिखाया कि ज़िंदगी हर बार एक मौका देती है और उस मौके को हमें कभी नहीं चूकना चाहिए. और साक्षी ने हमें ये सिखाया कि मौसी हम आप लोगों को हारने ही नहीं देंगे, क्योंकि हम सब साथ हैं. तो ये जो परिवार है पूरा एक साथ मिल कर के, जब परिवार के लोगों को हारने नहीं देगा तो पूरे समाज को कैसे हारने देगा. तो हमारे लिए जिया जी ने एक बहुत अच्छी मिसाल कायम करी है, और हम सब आज 31st एनिवर्सरी मना रहे हैं और 50th का हम बहुत जल्दी इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं. सो आई कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट ईच वन ऑफ यू प्रेजेंट हियर, एंड लेट्स हैव अ बिग राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर एवरीवन. थैंक यू सो मच. जय श्री कृष्ण.
और कोई है जो विशेस शेयर करना चाहे? बड़े क्रिस्प में ब्रीफली हम शेयर करना चाहेंगे, बिकॉज अब डिनर का टाइम हम ओपन करने वाले हैं. I think everyone is waiting for that.
Can I speak? I'm Professor Ashwini Kumar from University of Rajasthan. We have to thank Professor Dr. Bilal from 3 angles. First angle is I represent University of Rajasthan as a professor and head botany department, and he was the first to open Institute of Biotechnology, and he implemented the syllabus and keeping very high standard. So I'm thankful to him as a university representative of past, now I'm retired, to open the biotechnology and giving best education. Secondly, he was great inspiration. So we brought a book on omics with Dr. Sudeepi, and it is dedicated to Dr. Bilal. So Can we have applause? That book is dedicated to him and is a great inspiration. Secondly, I want to thank him. During COVID season, we had a flight to USA, and there was a requirement that your test must be done on the same day. And flight was from Delhi. So in the noon time, he said, you come early. We came 7 o'clock. He took the test, and by 12 o'clock, he gave the reports. And reports were needed and they printed. So he sent somebody to the airport to deliver the report so that we can fly, and that was a great miracle. And thirdly, we wish to thank him on behalf of the entire Jaipur, if you permit me to say. His tests are very accurate, timely, and punctual. He's the only laboratory, when I asked Birla for a treatment, they said the test will be done by Bilal. So many of the tests of topmost hospitals are done by Dr. Bilal, and I wish in future we'll have more cooperation, and artificial intelligence will develop also. Thank you very much, Sir, for inviting me.
All right. So,
Hello.
and now,
हेलो
yeah.
मैं महेंद्र गुप्ता सबसे पुराना मित्र इनका बचपन से 4 साल की उम्र से जब हम स्कूल जाते थे पहली क्लास से। मैं वैसे इंजीनियर हूँ, लेकिन ये सच है कि कुछ समय के लिए महकता है उसको कहते हैं इत्र, और जिंदगी भर महकती रहे उसको कहते हैं सच्चा मित्र। और मैं 2 लाइनों में आपका वर्णन करना चाहूँगा कि जहाँ ना पहुँचे रवि वहाँ पहुँचे कवि, और जहाँ ना पहुँचे कवि वहाँ पहुँचे आप जैसा अनुभवी। थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर. I think it's time to celebrate this beautiful journey together. We invite you all to join us for the anniversary gala dinner, followed by an evening of live music. Thank you for being a part of the DBCL story yesterday, today, and for many meaningful years ahead. This is Nikunj Parwal signing off. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Thank you so much.